on this app.
Sorry. I've had
ask him where he is.
I'll unmute him now.
Crossing Broad was getting questions about you.
I appreciate people actually being concerned.
Because I finally said one day, I said, Pat's suspension still goes through Monday.
Oh, jeez.
So
that didn't
Crossing
help.
Broad was getting questions.
Yeah, I muted all notifications.
It's incredible.
After the Sixers loss.
Oh, you did?
So I'll unmute him now. But,
okay, well, it's nice. Welcome back to the living.
Yeah, I've sorry for not reaching back out and getting back to people, but
That's good
I appreciate people being concerned. No, I'm back. I just, I tried to keep our population going. So
Kevin Kincade, he was not suspended because I wasn't commenting. So I mean, look, my last name's not Beasley, so I was not commenting.
Yeah,
Jamie, I think, was trying to let something slip, but nothing happened.
Yeah,
that scumbag. He left.
I will tell you what he said on Friday. Prepare yourself.
Okay.
He says he's done with you.
Okay.
You have some making up to do.
All right.
He said he was getting one-word text answers and nonsense.
I wasn't. No.
That's what he says.
No. Not.
He can produce the texts.
One word, yes.
He
nonsense.
Can produce the texts.
So he said, "What's the new Egan's name?" And I said, "No clue," because I didn't have a clue at the time. And he said, "No clue, Egan. I like it." And I didn't respond to that. And that was it. Like. Everybody good? Yeah, like I'm
just saying.
I don't know what you want from me, Cooney.
You'll deal with that tomorrow.
And then he holds out on the show.
We'll have marriage counseling
for work.
We'll have marriage counseling tomorrow on YouTube. So, hey, free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. So, Coach is going to run the board. This is fun.
I can't wait till he screws up.
No, he's doing well. I mean, it seems like
he hasn't done anything yet.
He doesn't look very confused.
Oh, when he hits Cooney's corner instead of linchpin, it's going to be fun.
My gosh. By the way, last Monday on the show, I set the over-under. You guys all bet the over. You did not. They all bet the over. I bet the under. I told you I-95 would be repaired before FanFest.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty impressive. That
they did it. I saw it
impressive
done.
or annoying?
No, guess what? Did you see what I wrote?
No.
It's crazy that you just said that. That is my morning. That is my content on 97.5thefanatic.com. It annoys the crap out of me.
It annoys me too.
It annoys me. We'll talk about it because it annoys me.
We'll get into it, man.
It's a tease, Jamie.
What don't you understand? Welcome to radio.
I don't understand any of this.
John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The John Kincade Show.
Sir, one more outburst, I will strangle you with my microphone wire. You understand?
Welcome back. And Pat Egan's back with us, too. Are you on your real mic, Pat?
Yeah,
he's back.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible.
Shout out to Eric Camille, our new engineer, who set it up.
It sounds weird.
It does sound.
It does sound weird.
It sounds like it's hollow, but you're on the air.
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Yeah. Engineering will be in around 11 o'clock.
Rodney and Erica McLeod will be here in studio with us at 8:30 today.
Looking forward to that.
Rodney McLeod,
Yeah, I always liked Rodney.
take
as
a
player.
flyer. If he wants to work, can we broker this deal for Howie today? If he wants to be a camp invitee.
Yeah, I don't see the problem with depth at a position you're pretty uncertain at.
Right.
I mean, Sidney Brown, they seem to really like the way he moves and looks on the field and all that. And Reed Blankenship is, I would say, far from proven yet. So
Sure, upside.
yeah, upside, but you have two guys there that you don't really know what they are. So I'm not opposed to some veteran depth.
Hey, bet Philly baseball all summer long on the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app, official sportsbook partner of the real Philly sports fan. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And he's Rodney, I believe, still lives in Philly.
Good.
Yeah, he's one of those Eagles that understood and it was different here and stays here.
Come here and stay here.
Yeah, people like it.
Which is great. Pat, I wrote something this morning. You and I did not do the show before the show, but I wrote a piece for 97.5 The Fanatic about how the repair of I-95 is pissing me off. And you said the same thing without prompting. What is it about it that's pissing you off? Because it might be exactly what I wrote.
This just shows that PennDOT can quickly fix things when they need to. I've seen them take 3 weeks to fix an overpass.
You are correct.
And this situation of 6 lanes of traffic falling down.
Falling down
all
2
of a sudden,
stories.
2 weeks that's fixed. I mean, I've seen road crews work on a pothole for a week.
Yep.
So that while it's great that it's getting fixed and quickly, it's also really annoying to me because next time I see a road crew out there for more than 2 days fixing, a wall, I'm gonna have some questions.
See, this is exact, Pat. It's exactly what I wrote this morning.
This hadn't crossed my mind a little bit.
I'm watching President Biden and John Fetterman and Governor Shapiro patting themselves on the back about how quickly they're fixing the roadways, and I'm going, our roadways are crap on a daily basis in this city and in this state. Crappy roads. And a major catastrophe happens, and it's like, look what we can do. But we can't fix the normal stuff. We can't do little stuff.
You guys aren't wrong. It just it wasn't a thought in my mind.
Because you're just more positive.
I just saw it. It kind of came out that it was going to be open in 2 weeks on Saturday when I was doing the show at it in Malvern, and I was like, "Wow, congrats! Like this is awesome news!" Like
That was my first thought.
Yeah, like I can't believe they're doing this so quickly. Impressive.
It's amazing to me, though. There is a Pat. I don't know if you ever take 100 up before you get to Westchester Country Club in Westchester.
Usually not.
Okay, but if you were going into the borough, anybody who's gone down, who's come up from Exton on 100 to go into the borough, knows that there's an overpass of 202 before you get to Westchester Golf Club and you roll into the borough. There has been a lane blocked on that bridge for a minimum of 8 months. Minimum. Cones, no work done. Last week, we saw work being done, and my wife was like, there's work being done on the bridge. They literally had cones up, blocking one of the lanes, doing 8 months minimum. And all of a sudden, they were working on it the other day. Cones are still up, nothing's still up, nothing's fixed. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can rebuild a road that fell 2 stories and have 6 lanes fixed and come up with a jury-rigged response that never had been used before. You came up with something like they asked the kids at a Philly charter school to come up with this plan, and they did it.
Yeah, I guess it's temporary, so they still have to ultimately finish the job.
Absolutely.
But it's pretty smart to just deal with the detour of the road underneath
It's brilliant.
of it. Yeah, it's a really good plan.
I mean, it was a brilliant plan.
Because you needed that open. I mean, people's lives are, I'm sure, hell up there.
The one, John Fetterman was introducing the one man, he said his good friend, the congressman or whatever, and he did an Indina Menzel. he did not know the man's name, and he did a totally different name from Saturday. You got to go look at it on social media. It was like a completely different name. This is my good friend, and I thought it was. What did John Travolta call Indina Menzel at the Grammys?
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I did that one time. I was producer. I was hosting.
By the way, we've all done it.
Yeah, I was hosting, and I completely blanked on the producer's name.
Oh.
And I was like, I want to thank my producer, and I just owned up to it. I was like, dude, I completely forgot your name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Nate Nat.
It was Nate Nat.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So
Poor Nate Nat.
Congratulations on PennDOT, but I wrote the piece this morning on that.
I mean, you guys aren't wrong.
I'm so shocked that you didn't. What's bothering me, too, is the congratulatory press conferences. Oh, yeah. Come on up here. All right, let's see. You come up for your 5 minutes of praise. You come up. We're throwing freaking tens of millions of dollars at this project, which I promise you is plenty of graft.
The live stream is pretty hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Because
and say, no, you come up and take credit for it. No, you get to come up. Mr. President, come on over and say hello.
I wish they had a live stream for every road work that they did.
That's what I think, too. Now that we know it,
yeah.
How expensive is it to have a live feed? I bet it's not.
The amount of time where you'll hit traffic on, for me, it's usually 76, and you'll hit the one lane close or whatever, and you finally get to whatever it is they're working on, and it's just a guy putting down the cones.
Yes.
Because they have to put down cones like 3 miles before they actually start working. So they'll put down the 3 miles of cones. It makes it one lane. It's frustrating.
Pat, 76, and you said it before, and Jamie, you've talked about it many times. 76 is like, and I drive it every day back and forth. It's like driving in Beirut.
That's horrible.
It's bad. And they don't fix that. They don't put any attention to that. If you can fix 6 lanes, you can absolutely fix potholes more efficiently. You can absolutely do things. Coach is with us. Coach.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I'm looking at the live stream, and it's...
How many people are on it, by the way?
there over
at 6:30?
I don't know. Let's see. It's...
It was 1.7 million the other day.
I don't know. I don't know how many... 740... Oh, no. I don't know how many people are on it right now. I can't really tell. It just says how many views are on there right now. It doesn't
There actually is a couple more people than our YouTube.
But here's the really funny part of this thing. In this very, very kind of narrow camera view...
Right.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 billboards that are on there from the company with the company's name that is fixing this thing, turned exactly towards the camera.
That's brilliant.
It was a brilliant move by them.
That is brilliant. I'm amazed at the recycled glass too. Like, how is recycled glass flexible?
What about recycled glass?
It's recycled glass. What they did is it's recycled glass that's making the stuff that they're filling the hole with.
Oh, okay. I
don't understand how recycled glass is flexible. I stunk at science. Mr. Severin would tell you that back at O'Hara. Doc Severin, we called him. He was bad. I mean, he'd be like, John, you're just not meant to be a scientist. But hey, the U.S. Open. I saw you saying, wow, this is great. Saturday night golf. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Last night, I'm going, please, could we just be finished?
Yeah, the Sunday's a little tougher.
It's ridiculous.
Saturday and Friday night when you got, big time golf on and it's nighttime. I'm sitting outside and pour myself a bourbon. I was like, this is great.
Were you sitting on the porch and watching?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful nights.
It was. And then yesterday I was like, all right, let's wrap this up a little bit.
Too long. Hey, you weren't getting the ending you wanted, did you?
No, I was pulling for Ricky. I really wanted to see him pull it off.
I said it on Friday, and we talked about it with Bob. I said, I think Ricky Fowler, over his career, has the Greg Norman choker label. And yesterday, he had every chance to once again win a major.
Yeah, it started Saturday night when
he started.
He 3-putt 18. It was just like, dude,
it's what he does. It's what he does.
You should have had probably a 2-stroke lead going into Sunday, but he didn't.
He doesn't have the whatever it is. He gets tight in the sphincter.
Yeah, it was a pretty good leaderboard though.
It was
for the final. Rory. I saw this morning that Rory shot the lowest combined scores in a U.S. Open over 4 days to not win.
It's incredible.
So he would have won every other U.S. Open, but this one he did not.
What'd you think of the course? I don't think, what's weird is
it's kind of basic looking.
Usually I see a course and I say, boy, I'd love to play that.
Yeah, that one.
First of all, I never even knew it existed. I'm sure Doc Rivers knows.
Did you see why the Playboy Mansion put the zoo where they did?
Why?
Because they have a no entertainers rule, and I guess Hugh Hefner falls under that. So he was denied entry into the club. So he put the zoo right as close to the course as he could.
Just to make the noise and
just
everything?
to make the noises and be a pain to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, that's cool.
I heard no entertainers.
Yes, no entertainers.
So, Pat, I was trying to figure out the no entertainers rule at LA Country Club. Would that rule us out?
Some of us.
So,
Yeah, some of us.
Oh, the mic sounds better.
Like Coach.
It does sound a little better.
Coach could be a member.
Coach,
sure.
you might be able to be a member.
He doesn't entertain anything.
But the players were kind of crapping on it. Brooks Koepka.
It's not a good course. It doesn't
Schauffele
look
said something.
like I don't look at that course and say, boy, I'd love to play that.
Yeah. It was just kind of basic. I don't know. It wasn't very impressive to the eye.
My buddy says to me, who lives out there, plays golf, and he says there are 20 places he'd rather play.
Yeah.
And he's played it.
Okay.
He said there are 20. Can you imagine if you said there's a major tournament coming to Philadelphia?
Yeah.
And there's 20 places in Philly area
that are better.
that you'd rather play.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a fun club either. Like a 1,000-page rule book, and you can't wear shorts if you're a guy, and it's just like I don't know. To me, you're taking the fun out of the game.
That's not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, like no.
Did you hear where they said and the members bought up most of the tickets?
Yeah, so the PGA was getting shredded a little bit because they handed it over to the members, and then they sold like 80% of the tickets to basically corporate. They kept the numbers low, and then like 80% of the attendees were corporate people that don't really get into it.
There was no atmosphere.
Yeah, so it was basically 9,000 people that were general admission people, which is really low.
They should never be back there.
No, I don't think it's going to.
Never be.
After the comments from the players and otherwise.
Phillies have won 6 in a row. Phillies have won 5 series in a row, correct? 5 series in a row.
Yeah.
They've won 6 in a row, and their next opponent, the Braves, have 2. But Jamie wants to talk about what him and his cousin were debating and subjecting the women at the Father's Day dinner to.
Oh, I guess I'm just going to talk here.
Yeah, just talk.
We're doing linchpin.
I don't know. I just pop in occasionally.
It's all
Do
right.
I work
gotta
it?
find it on my board.
Don't
No,
worry
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, Pat. You're just
guys.
packed.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll find it.
That was my pause. Was me waiting.
Pat, you're like being PennDOT this morning. All right, what do you got?
So Kyle Schwarber, look, if you've heard me talk about it before, this team needs home run power in the middle of the order. He's back at leadoff. It for some reason works. I think it also coincides with it being June and him turning a corner, and I think
This
hi.
is the linchpin.
Yes, I think if he's batting third right now, he's still hitting home runs.
So do I.
But there's something to, I guess, the leadoff home run that really Rob Thompson and others believe it kind of changes the game. And
Really?
And it does. I mean, the one the other night was a first pitch. Like, I'm sure the pitcher's on edge pretty immediately. So there is something to it. I'm kind of coming around more to it, but I also still hate it. Can I be wrong and also right at the same time?
You're not wrong or right is what I think it is. I don't think
Right?
I agree with you.
Like, to me,
I
he's
don't
a 3
I
or
don't
4
think we're
hitter.
wrong or right.
Yeah,
I think it's just nebulous. It has nothing to do with anything.
I know.
Except I don't get it.
It just makes no sense to me. Like, once Trey Turner gets fully back in his groove,
When's that scheduled to be? Could you check?
I'm hoping any day now.
Are we going to do a Castellanos year with him?
Castellanos has been awesome.
Poor Nick's sick this weekend.
Yeah.
Out for a couple days. Hope he's all right.
It's very bizarre to me. His on base is as good as pretty much anybody on the team. Like, he's up around 325 or 330, but it's literally home run or not much. It's
Or
like
a walk.
or a walk.
He's got a good eye.
He does.
But for a guy who was on pace to strike out more than he did last year.
Yeah. And Pat,
And
you had
that
the
shocks
stat
me.
last year. It was the most home runs in Major League history, not breaking like.
So I think he was the 4th player in Major League history. It's like 4th or 5th to have 45 plus home runs in a season, not have 100 RBIs. And I think he was like the 2nd player to do it with 47 home runs and not have 100 RBIs.
Yeah, like to me, that's just like, I understand it changes the game, I guess, but you're leaving a lot of RBIs off of that bat.
And he strikes out more than he gets a hit.
that's wild.
and you're putting him in leadoff, which is counter to every bit of logic that there is.
Yeah.
He's going to strike out more than he's going to get a hit.
That's crazy.
It just is. It's a strange story.
But yeah, we were sitting there yesterday at the barbecue, and Schwarber has more success at the leadoff spot. And my cousin Tim was just like, "See, are you going to admit you're wrong?" And he's like kind of laughing because because he knows I get wound
is that
up
why
about
he
it.
sent me your picture?
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess it's working, but like, there's nobody on this team that can hit home runs. Why is this guy not in the middle of your lineup?
Your best home run hitter bats where in a lineup? Not first.
Typically third or fourth.
Correct.
And Bryce's power's got to come back soon.
Is
hopefully.
it?
Hopefully.
Can you check when that's scheduled to happen?
Yeah, it's hard to really get on him because he came back so early. But man, they need some pop because Reese, like you're missing that 30 home runs right there in a major way right now. Nick's never really going to give you the pop that you're looking for.
But Nick has been exceptional.
But he's been great. You need Harper and Schwarber. That's basically all you got. And to me, it's just so many solo home runs.
It's infuriating.
It drives me nuts.
I know that they've won. This is probably bad timing for this argument because they've won recently.
Well, that's why I bring it up because it's working.
Yeah,
they're winning.
But I'm getting sick of watching it and then hearing the PR machine. Like yesterday, I was listening to the game in the car, and I have to hear about how great it is that that how amazing he's.
Right?
These pitchers are on edge and he's jumping them and all that, and his numbers and blah blah. Looking at his OBP career-wise, batting first, his OBP's 320. Batting second, it's 345. Batting third, it's 371. Batting fourth is... Like, if you're looking at OBP, fine. It's probably the worst at the leadoff spot. So while looking at his number-wise this year, leading off, OBP, it's fine. His career-wise, it's better somewhere else. And on top of it, the power thing, it's slightly better leading off per his career. But I don't think it's enough to warrant leaving all those RBIs
20
sitting there.
20 home runs, 41 RBIs.
That's
crazy.
So Ricky, it's probably Saturday night when they won, and Schwarber led off with a home run. And Ricky joked on post game, I want to hear from all the people that don't want him hitting leadoff. And
I'm still here.
And I texted him and said, "Hi, my name's Pat. I think this is the dumbest thing besides bullpen games because."
That's another thing that pisses me off.
Could you imagine Charlie Manuel in 2011 batting Ryan Howard leadoff?
Nope.
It's dumb.
It's the same logic.
Unheard of.
Same logic.
The idea that all of a sudden Kyle Schwarber's power is just going to zap away because he's not in leadoff. And by the way, I'm tired to death of hearing about his comfort. He's comfortable. Guys, he's hitting like $170. Could he get any more
187 he's up
uncomfortable?
to.
Like, is he? Okay,
yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah,
he's hot.
He's approaching the Mendoza line, which my entire life I was always taught if you're not hitting above the Mendoza line, you're not playing.
Yeah, that's
Correct.
what I've been taught too. But then all of a sudden,
but now they've reinvented baseball.
Yeah.
Well, and I like Kyle Schwarber.
So
and I'm
do
not
I.
saying there's not a.
So do I.
Because I feel like I at times sound like an anti-Schwarber guy, and I'm not. But the
Same.
idea of batting a guy who's hitting $187 and then using one of the excuses as being he's comfortable there as he hits $187. By the way, $187 with the shift being outlawed,
Eliminated, yeah.
It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, he should be 100 plus RBI guy
Yes.
here, and
Yes.
When you hit 40 home runs, 40
you should be
more,
100 plus
Yeah.
RBI guy, period.
Yeah, if you're hitting 40 plus,
yeah,
Unless
I'd be hard pressed to find many 40 plus home run guys not have 100 RBIs.
It's brutal.
yeah, it's weird because it works, but I don't think it's the reason they're winning.
No, I think it's part of a reason they're winning,
Yeah, sure.
but it's not. You can't tangibly point to that.
But I'd love to see
It's
a
absurd.
a three. A game with a home run to lead off, and it's like, you know what else is cool? 3 and 4 run home runs too.
You know what's even cooler? The starting pitcher's ERA, which is down like 60% of what it was before they started to win. The starting pitcher's
the starting
ERA
pitcher shut
has
up.
plummeted.
Yeah,
That's the reason you're freaking winning.
I don't understand.
For God's sakes.
You go out, you get a Trey Turner, you say he's batting leadoff, you give him 14 games in
Yeah.
the leadoff spot, and then you abandon it to put Kyle Schwarber in there because he hits home runs at a leadoff spot. Wouldn't you rather have him hitting second so that when Trey
Yes.
Turner does get on base, it's a 2-run shot? Like the argument of, well, isn't it great to start off a game 1-0? Yeah, you know what's also cool?
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah,
That's cool too. And maybe 3-0. Crazy thought here.
I know, because it is June and he's going to hit home runs now.
Because if nobody's on base when he comes up in the third spot, guess what? It's still a solo shot, and it's still 1-0. It doesn't matter. You're starting the game and giving him no opportunity whatsoever to drive a run in. It's yeah.
Do you think?
There you go.
Do you think other cities would complain about this?
Yes.
Or is it
Yes.
unique to us? and
No, I
being-
know they would. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So we're not that
No.
crazy.
But it's fine. It's fine
Because I do feel like a heel complaining about
No,
it.
Pat gave the logic.
Yeah.
He showed the logic, the factual logic that if Schwarber is batting leadoff, he has his worst on base percentage. Flat out. And that's over hundreds and hundreds of games. It's not being made up. It's not a small sample size.
Yeah. The fact that the Phillies don't really have anybody better than a 330 on base is also a little troubling.
I do not like the talking points either, Pat. Constantly being shoved down your throat.
Every time it works, we have to hear, "Oh, isn't
There
it?
you
You
go.
know, all the
Look
same
at
stuff
this.
we just laid out."
Here it is.
Rob Thompson said he loves it because it gets the pitcher on edge.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like, okay, cool.
Pat has some thoughts on hiring who you know. And I've got good news for Eagles fans. The math is incredible. John Kincade Show on this Juneteenth Monday here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The John Kincade Show.
They're like the family from hell.
back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
You know, if your basement or your crawl space smells musty, or you've got watermarks on the block walls, you need to get a completely free home inspection from the experts. Call BQ Basements and Concrete. The problem's only going to get worse. Jamie, you don't have like watermarks on the walls?
No,
of the basement,
we're
right?
good. But growing up, we had a house that the basement would get water sometimes.
Oh, we did.
It was a pain.
We did.
Yeah, you lived in Washington Crossing, right?
Yeah, we were in between a canal and the river, so just
So would your wall Betty's wall would have this sort of like I guess they put up like waterproofing on it, and then it would start to get damp over the years, and then you'd touch a section and it would fall off.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had that too? We didn't have BQ basements.
No, but that stuff's a pain. So good job by BQ taking care of people.
BQ basements and concrete.
Yeah, the wet basement's never fun.
Not fun.
Never.
Now they build it. We watched, our place get built. They put the bib in. There's a diaper.
Really?
Yeah, there's a diaper
Around
that's
the
put
foundation?
Yes.
Huh.
There's a diaper around the foundation that keeps the. That
You have
keeps
to change it, or
You don't. You have to burp the baby.
yeah.
Which is fun. And Pat, sorry to give you PTSD there, as that's probably all you've been
a
doing.
couple hours ago.
How is the baby pooping?
Fine.
He's doing good?
No,
Poop is
regular.
weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's like tar.
Yeah, it's like the first ones are
The first 2 weeks are like
And
tar.
then it's just like
Then it's
you
like
just look
mustard.
at this child. You're how did you create that?
Yeah, you're so tiny in this.
Violent sounds and whatnot. Yeah, but he's fine.
Are you seeing a few weeks in differences between how Jack was at the same time and how Riley is?
Not really. My life was different back then. So, in terms of I guess Riley's been a little bit easier. But my schedule though, my schedule was different.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I'm like back to my regular schedule today.
Now you're going to find out what it's really like.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm in it.
That's so awesome.
I'm in the end game. That's one way to put it.
Say goodbye to naps. That was the big thing I learned.
Watch me nap. Watch me.
Well, you got to nap when the baby naps, right?
Yeah, but it's not
But
always
Jack's
that easy.
not gonna nap?
But with two, yeah.
Will
then-
Jack nap with
Jack's
you?
at that age where he's never tired, according to him. And we're like,
Right.
dude, you're exhausted. I'm not tired.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, all right, bud.
You know
Pat,
more
by
than
the way-
Within 5 minutes, he's falling asleep.
That doesn't change at 19.
See, it did. For me, it did.
Liv can be, I am not tired. And you can tell when that kid's tired. Oh, my gosh. I'm like, you're 19. And I still can tell when you're tired.
I had puberty, and then it was like, naps are the greatest thing in the world.
Naps are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I reached an age where I would stop getting up early, and next thing you know, it was like, man, sleeping until noon is awesome.
I had to sleep, so I got disconnected after the show Friday. So for my first chemo treatment, got disconnected Friday. Went over to Dr. Sprandio's office. They had me in and out. Took good care of me. Got me all. Mary Kate
What do you say, Mary
took
Kate?
care
Where
of me.
was Ashley?
Ashley was not there, but she said that's how I would remember her name.
She's
But
not
Mary
wrong.
Kate was there. Sister Pat was there. And Sister Pat comes over. I met her the day I was doing my chemo. And she goes, hello, Mr. Kincade. There was Sister Pat. She was like, okay, I think the Nuns Network
Yeah.
has
word
gotten
got
the
out.
word. They got to my file. I think she got a look at my file and realized, okay, this guy's going to be trouble. And we got him 11 more treatments. And so it was great. So we had everybody come by. So they unhooked me. And I was like surprised at how easily everything went, except the cumbersome nature of being hooked up to this thing. So I take a nap. I come home and I get a little tired. I take a nap. And I wake up and we got Pizza Westchester again, which was just awesome.
Yeah.
We went and got that again because they told me you got to have food. You got to eat up because you got to soak up the medicine. Around 6 o'clock, I couldn't even finish one piece of pizza. And I felt terrible.
Yeah.
And then I went to bed for like 11 and a half hours.
Nice.
It was terrible. So, but good. But I mean, by the time Sunday morning came, I felt pretty fine. And
That's
today I feel normal,
It's great.
which is good. So thanks.
Hey, you look good.
Yeah, right?
Look
Did
like you got a haircut.
Yeah, we
The
took
haircut looks good.
Michael Coletti in King of Prussia at Sal's, took it off. I said, let's take it down because they say around 70% of people with what I'm doing which is called full fox or 5FU, will experience some sort of hair loss. But if I take it down, Pat, it won't make a big deal. So if I lose
I
a
just
little,
thought you got a haircut.
no, I took it way. You've never seen my hair. I've never had my hair like this in my adult life.
I didn't know if you were going through like a midlife crisis.
Well, this
know?
is this would be
This would be
this
a
would
midlife crisis.
sort of
This would be a life crisis, not midlife.
Stage 3 cancer really does sort of it does suffice that it could be.
Yeah, I
that.
think it
Next thing you know,
qualifies.
you're going to come in with jet black hair tomorrow.
But you know what's funny is that that's what we keep saying is now I can show the YouTube audience is my hair now that it's shaved down to it must get grayer
The further
as it
away.
gets longer, further away.
Tip is gray,
Because it's
roots are
much
dark.
darker when I have it down like this. Olivia goes yesterday, she goes, Dad, your hair does look darker when it's cut really short.
Yeah, it does.
And I said, I like it longer. I like my flow. I'm going to get my flow back.
You're not thinking about bringing the hats back? No.
By the way, Dansby made fun of it.
The hat?
They made fun of me.
Oh,
cut
the
my hair off.
haircut?
He said, dude, you don't have the best flow anymore.
Well, you never
Because
did.
I would always say I did have the best flow.
Ah, well,
I'd say,
Dansby hasn't met me.
There you go. He hasn't met you.
Yeah.
How's your boy doing in Chicago this year?
He's enjoying it, but boy, Atlanta hates him.
Really?
They hate
For
him.
what?
Why?
Because he
Didn't
left.
pay.
I understand.
Pay the man his money.
But they still hate him. By the way, the Braves are in this week, which is great.
Big series. I'll be down there on Thursday for my wife's birthday coming up. So that's what she requested, which is
That's
always
great.
Which is always awesome.
day
with me.
game?
She's like, yeah, because with the girls,
That's great.
it's impossible for the night games. And I was like, that's what you want to do for your birthday? Awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
And she's kind of my gauge of like how back the Phillies are. You know what I mean?
Because she wants to be part of it.
Yeah, she loves the Phillies, but like when she starts asking daily what time the game is, I'm like, okay,
You know she's paying attention.
this team's got the town's attention again.
When my wife starts complaining about players, that's when I know
She's invested.
that's when I know she's more than casually paying attention.
Yeah.
That she'll just be like, what is with if she's like, what's with Schwarber?
In the
Like,
field?
what's going on? He's terrible in the field.
Oh, I cannot wait until
He doesn't have to be.
He can go back to DH.
Why are him and Castellanos showed us in the playoffs last year. He made 3 game-saving type plays
Yeah, he's capable.
in the postseason.
He said
But in the regular season,
he
bored.
goes spaces out there. He said it's hard to pay attention.
Incredible. But he's been great this year. So,
Yes.
Nick, we love you. I hope you're feeling better because Nick wouldn't feel better. What do you think about Harper having a day off yesterday so we can have 2 days off?
Don't mind it at all.
What? But what?
I had a problem with it, but it wasn't
What are
for
you
probably the
doing?
reason you think.
What?
I had a problem with it because I thought he was swinging the bat better.
He was.
And I don't mind giving him a day off and the idea of giving him back-to-back days, but I mind it if he's starting to swing the bat better.
Keep the momentum.
To sit him. And then you kind of saw the offense didn't really show up against the Oakland Athletic. Like
No.
the A's were throwing out guys with ERAs that were, north of 5, and the Phillies were struggling. So luckily they ended up winning yesterday, but I couldn't help but sit there and go, yeah, we could probably use Bryce Harper in the lineup today. But it ended up working out, but I had an issue with that.
His numbers are pretty good. I mean, Harper for not the power is
Yeah,
obviously
but you
not there.
need power.
His on base is 391 right
It's
now.
fantastic, but you need power.
No, you do, and clearly the injury is affecting
Right.
him there. But he's only got 3 home runs, but he's hitting
It's
296.
fantastic there, but
He's-
that's
yeah.
not what you're paying.
No, I know, but it's hard to want more when he came back this early.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
we love it. No,
When
this
you-
is a bonus.
Yeah, you weren't expecting him to be back at all at this point.
Yeah.
Actually, you're probably at this point you were hoping he would be back.
Remember?
I was
Pat.
hoping around the All-Star break.
Okay, yeah. So
During the winter, when the schedule, during spring training, I targeted this series
Oh, really?
for Harper
yeah,
to return.
yeah, you did, yeah.
This was the one. I said, circle this date.
Yeah,
I think
and that would have been early.
And I think Harper was coming back for this series. And he's back, so it's been good, and it's helped them. So 7 a.m. hour is brought to you by the all-new Bet Parks app, sportsbook and casino, in one sleek, easy-to-use app in Pennsylvania, Jersey, and Ohio. You can check it on out. The Bet Parks app, it's great. In Pat's point of view, he says, don't just think it's the same old, same old.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Hi, Pat.
All right, who doesn't like a little hockey talk in the middle of June, huh?
We love it. Here's
yeah,
Riley's
we do.
dad.
Yes. I've seen a lot of negative sentiment about what the Flyers are doing, and in my part, I understand it. Because what the Flyers have done this entire offseason is basically bring back a bunch of former players. Whether it be Keith Jones, Danny Briere, John LeClaire, Patrick Sharp got a job recently. They're bringing back a bunch of old players, and a lot of Flyers fans are going, you're doing the same thing you did for generations and years, and it didn't work. I understand why fans would be mad, but you have to look at it like you can't lump them all under the umbrella of former Flyer. It's a completely different generation. Danny Briere had a scratch and claw his way back into the NHL when he was put on waivers by Arizona. His career was done, and it was really the changes during the lockout in 2005 that helped him resurrect his career for him to become the player he is. He gets the modern game. Patrick Sharp recently stopped playing. Keith Jones has been around the game for years. This isn't Bobby Clark and and Paul Holmgren and the buddies of yesteryear of the Broad Street Bullies. So I understand why fans are upset, but you can't look at it like, all right, former Flyer, that's it. They tried to do the former Flyer thing and go away from it with Chuck Fletcher. That was an unmitigated disaster. It didn't work. So they tried that. Let's go back to something different, I guess. It's a former Flyer, but it's a change just because it's more recent. And I think that will end up bearing fruit for the organization a little bit more than, Paul Holmgren and Bob Clark getting together with the good old boys group and figuring out how to change things that they haven't been able to change in almost 50 years.
I love your attitude with that because I think it's exactly the same one I'm sort of feeling here, is that I don't know. I can't sit here and say it's going to be a success.
Yeah, I thought
But
Ron Hextall was going to be a success, and that didn't work out.
So did I. But I don't in any way think that it's a disaster that they've gone with these guys or that it's a stupid strategy or whatever.
I don't
I'm
either.
happy with it.
Because all I've seen from them so far is that they recognize how bad it was.
I agree.
And plus knowing Jonesy, I think he's a really sharp.
He's very sharp.
Sharp dude.
Yes.
And I don't think he's here just to, I bet he has a vision and a plan and he's going to try and execute it. And Danny's the same way. And to Pat's point, it's not that long ago that these guys were playing. They understand the modern game and they understand this needed to be rebuilt all over the place. So I think it's pretty encouraging so far. Hopefully maybe this Russian phenom kid falls to them at 7 and they
That'd
take
be awesome.
him. And you get a little nuts there, but
You like Russian phenoms, Pat?
what's his name again?
I forget.
Metskov or something.
Yeah.
He's,
And he's a wild card because apparently
He's threatening to stay.
He's not only threatening to stay, like there are some teams where he's kind of pulling a Jalen Carter for people that aren't familiar
where he
with the
doesn't
NFL.
want to work out for certain
He's
teams.
not working at he's not even talking to some teams. So he really
He
is
doesn't
a
want to go to
complete
Columbus.
wild
He
card.
doesn't want to go to Columbus. He doesn't want to go to, he wants to go to a big city.
He wants to go to Ovi. Is what he wants to do.
Yeah, it's
I don't think
what
he's
it
going to
is.
get there.
Yeah, he's the biggest wild card in the
Right.
draft because people just don't know where he's going to go.
People
He
are
wants-
saying he could go second or third on skill alone.
Right, but he doesn't want to he does not want to go to Columbus.
Well, hopefully he
doesn't
likes
want to go to
cheesesteaks
Anaheim.
and Rocky.
He doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to be in Anaheim, doesn't want to be in Columbus reportedly. So I think Philly will be fine enough for him.
But these guys recognize what it is, and it's a 2 to 3 year process, and a Provorov of the world, and some of these, they're trying to get rid of Kevin Hayes right now. They are telling us, the fans, they understand they're behind.
Yeah, I don't. I said it during our open house, but I don't foresee a trade of draft equity for like a Tony D'Angelo,
No.
which was a short-sighted move.
No.
I don't foresee a trade like Rasmus Ristolainen, where you give up the 14th overall pick for a defenseman, and when you're criticized about it, you come back with, well, other teams were willing to give up that, so that's what we had to give up. No, you didn't, though. Like, nobody had a gun to your head. It was a dumb move.
Yeah.
And then you extended them, which is an even dumber move. So I think that they also have time, which will help, but I don't know if it's going to work out. But hearing the whole, it's the former Flyers again, here we go. Look, if they had hired Bobby Clark back, I'd understand the frustration. Ed Van Imp comes in and is running things. I get it, but it's not. It's completely different.
I saw it, Pat, and you got to meet my buddy Darren,
Yeah.
who vice president of the Golden Knights.
Has he sobered up yet?
He has not. Did you see the picture I put on social?
No. I told you I've been.
Well, he had
MIA.
my buddy Darren was the color analyst on the Thrashers broadcasts down in Atlanta, TV broadcaster, did a lot of stuff for network and local. And then he went to work for the Red Wings, and then he took a job. He's a Cornell grad.
So
and smart guy, good friend of Jonesy too.
I'm also a Cornell grad.
I didn't know that.
Cornell hockey.
Well, you have Cornell, but you know
Cornell
Cornell
hockey
people
camp.
from there. You know a lot of people up in that area.
I do, yeah. But I went to the hockey camp back in like '99. So me and Darren are pretty much the same guy.
Well, they lured Darren. Said, "Would you come out and be vice president of the Knights?" And he came out to be involved with player development, build our practice facility, develop our own minor league team. So now he created the Silver Knights, and then now move into a player development role. And so he came from being a color analyst in the NHL for 16 seasons, 17 seasons, to being vice president of the Golden Knights. And I have a picture of him up on my social media where on Saturday night he looks well inebriated, Pat, holding the Stanley Cup over his head, smiling at
fun.
the party.
Please tell me that either of you have seen William Carlson's
Oh, it was
speech
fantastic.
I did
where
not.
he is so
He's so loaded.
obliterated
Oh, my God.
that somebody from Vegas, like their PR department, basically had to tell him, like, dude, stop talking. Like, give the mic
Well,
over.
that was the...
Stop. Please, God, stop. You need to... Because he started cursing.
Oh, yeah, he's saying...
And, our first game, we faced
Arizona.
Phoenix. We blew him the F out. I didn't have any points. That's okay. But I had a lot more after that. Like,
It was and his
Jamie,
shirt
it's
off.
epic. Yeah.
I'll check it
And
out.
shirt off. Like half of them had their shirt. That was 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And then it was nighttime. So did you see the strip? Did you see the
No,
parade
I
down the
didn't.
strip? It was fantastic.
Well,
so they closed the side of the strip of that MGM Grand's on, that Planet Hollywood's on, and everything. That side of the strip was the parade route, and the other side of the strip was still moving traffic. There were so many people on the strip. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing. They had a great time.
Yeah, I don't think when I first heard teams were going to Vegas, I always thought it was going to be like weird to get
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a failure.
support from
You
the
thought
local.
hockey would be a failure?
I thought it would be an absolute failure.
But it
I thought
appears
would-
it's all working out there.
I thought it would be
It's working crazy.
a destination
Yeah.
for opposing fans. They would struggle to have a home fan base, and that tickets would be gobbled up by casinos to give away to
The Whales.
to basically.
Well, that still happens, but
And I'm
the
sure it
locals though, Pat, over their projections, their local season ticket base is around 40% more than they expected to be projected at the time. But I think part of it is because of the fact that they made the Stanley Cup Finals their first year.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah,
having
that
success
helps.
So
like that.
everybody wanted to get in it.
They've been more successful in 5 years than the Flyers have been in like 45.
Yeah,
6
I mean,
years-
Columbus struggled their first couple of years in Columbus because the team was terrible. But Vegas, they go to the Stanley Cup immediately. It's their first pro team. It's like they latch onto it.
6 years, 4 conference finals, 2 Stanley Cup finals, 1 Stanley Cup.
The scary thing is the some of the players they gave up.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, like Nick Suzuki, they gave up for Pacioretty and they let him go. I mean, it's just like they could be better. And,
they could even be better.
but it's it's a testament to them. And then the A's look like they're headed there. Which,
Oh, they're headed there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be
Bryce,
there.
what'd you guys think of Bryce's comments?
Pretty cool.
I think it's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, because why are you defending a fan base that does not support the program?
Well, they don't support the owner.
No. They made that owner gave them playoffs 18, 19, and 20. He doesn't put
Debate.
a crappy the idea
He
that
does put a crappy team.
18, 19, they've made the playoffs 3 of the last 5 seasons.
They're the Cleveland Indians in Major League. Like their owner wants as cheap as possible. He doesn't
but
care
there's
about them
still
winning.
though. They gave them when you make the playoffs 3 out of 5 years, you're doing better than the Phillies have done. You're doing better than the Mets have done.
I'm not going to say that wasn't the plan to make the playoffs, but the idea that he put that team out there and
No, I
said
get
this
you.
team can win. He as soon as they get a player worth a damn, they immediately trade him away for.
But Pat, people want the A's owner to invest in Oakland.
Yeah.
The NHL had a team in Oakland, left. The NFL had a team in Oakland twice, left twice. The NBA had a team in Oakland, left. Every pro sports league has been in Oakland and left.
Yeah, because of the
And-
stadiums,
and-
because the owners don't want to pay
And
for a
so,
stadium.
then that's not his fault.
Well, it's the owner doesn't want to pay for a stadium,
Well, why
and
should
Oakland doesn't
he?
want to pay for a stadium.
Why should he? When other cities are saying, no, we know there's a cost to doing business. It's not, you do not own, when you own a baseball team.
You don't
or
even renovate it, though. Like, he wasn't even, like, attempting. He wouldn't renovate the stadium.
Because he wants a new stadium. He doesn't want a renovated crap
He's
hole.
got a raccoon posted up
does.
in the opposing
does.
team's play-by-play booth, and he's not doing anything about it. Like, that,
He doesn't want
that owner's a crumb.
He doesn't want a crap hole stadium. And he knows he's
He
leaving.
has one.
And he's no, because he's not going to renovate. They wanted him to renovate that place.
20
It is
years ago,
awful.
it was bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's been the worst
No.
for 20, 30 years.
It's terrible.
He's a rat.
I saw. No, he's not, though.
He is a rat. He's a crumb rat.
They want you to. He wants you to build a stadium. He doesn't want to renovate a crappy stadium.
Why should taxpayers have to build a stadium? He's a millionaire.
That would have been
He's
like
a billionaire.
that would have been like because they've if another city, Pat, if you own a business and another city says we'll build you one. How about this?
Here's where me and you differ.
We'll
I
partner
don't own
with
a
it.
business. So I'm looking at it like a fan going, that guy's a rat. I understand the business side of it, of him going, well, yeah, I mean, tax-wise and blah, blah, blah. I think it's a rat move. One of the reasons why I support the Sixers Stadium downtown is because the owners are paying for it. Because I'm not going to pay for it as a taxpayer. So,
no.
Wherever you want to put it, go ahead.
You're still going to pay for it.
I'm not paying for it.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not paying the taxes.
All the infrastructure your taxes are paying for.
Nope. Saddleman.
The stadium will be paid for by the Sixers. All the other stuff that has to go to improve the area will be paid for by taxpayer dollars.
No, according to the Sixers, the stadium
they're
will
doing
improve the
all
area.
right, but that's but
He's
more
worth $2.2 billion. I
more
just looked up.
importantly,
His name's John
you don't want to
Fisher.
be.
He's a
you
rat.
don't want to be in. You don't want to be in Oakland. Nobody wants to be in Oakland. Oakland is a decrepit city.
Some people might want to be in Oakland if the stadium was better.
Well, no, they don't show. They didn't show up when the teams are good. They don't even show up.
No, they do. When the teams are good, they do show up. That's not true. When the teams are good, they do show up.
Pat,
The stadium's a dump, but they do show up.
Pat, they made the playoffs in 18-19. They averaged 19,000.
Yeah, I don't have an argument for that.
They didn't show up.
You might have won that.
We would love to see them be good. They gave up on the team long ago, but every pro sport has fled Oakland. He's the
I
last.
have to do a
he's the
deep dive
last
into
one
their
out.
attendance markets.
Yeah.
Attendance numbers, because
They're
I might
awful.
have lost that battle.
They're awful.
Okay, I might admit I'm
You
wrong.
come back,
Okay, but I'm going to come back,
Pat,
and I
you
might be stronger.
Pat, you may not be on your game because you got Riley just arrived and everything. So, all right, we got a lot coming up, including some good news for Eagles fans that I think Jamie Lynch is not going to be surprised. Pat became a dad.
Allegedly.
You became a dad for a second time the week before Father's Day. That's pretty awesome. That's an awesome gift.
It's good timing, I guess.
It's an awesome gift. When's Jack's birthday?
December 8th.
So he's in December. He's like screwed like me.
I don't think he's screwed.
December birthdays suck, Pat.
I mean,
they
whatever.
suck.
He should have thought about that.
I don't think he had anything to do with you
He
and your
found the
bride
egg.
deciding
He found
to,
the egg. He thought of it.
He thought it was Easter. He found the egg.
Like, wasn't far off from Easter.
Our next door neighbor, congratulations, happy 21st birthday to Shane McLaughlin, who turned 21 yesterday.
He's going to look like William Carlson in a couple hours.
Shane, I mean, it was yesterday, so I'm sure he's probably sleeping right now. But young Shane.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess he's of Irish descent.
Yes. You've met his dad. You met his dad at First Friday.
Okay.
My neighbor
Yeah,
Mark. Now,
Was he the guy who, when we asked what he thinks of you as a neighbor, he said he likes your wife?
He likes Christina and Olivia. They like Christina and Olivia. So
I
Shane,
like that guy.
Shane, a homely kid. But he's going to get better looking, I think, as he gets older. He's one of those terrible looking kids, like around like 6'2",
Yeah.
built like a brick, flowing hair, always at the gym. He's an ugly kid.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll get a little better looking as he ages. I got some good news for Eagles fans. But I think Jamie would have already known this. And Pat, you've had stuff muted, so you may not. We head into this break, the summer vacation for the NFL, where, by the way, for most teams, they literally shut down their facilities for like 4 weeks. And people go on vacation. If I was to say to you, of the 32 teams in the NFL, where do the Eagles rank in available salary cap space? Now, I've already told you it's good news.
Yeah.
But I mean, of the 32 teams,
I'll go with sixth. Sixth best.
sixth best? You think that good?
Oh, that was
I mean,
ambitious.
that's really hot. That would be great news. See, I screwed it up there.
12th.
13th.
Okay.
The Eagles have $14.5 million in cap space.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
I swear to you, Pat, they are, I think these are the Gojo books. If anybody knows the reference, if anybody knows the reference from Succession.
Yes.
I think these are the Gojo books. I think Howie Roseman does the books for Gojo. Because I don't know how the Eagles have $14.5 million in cap space.
Let's hope Howie's not sending, bricks of blood.
Let's hope he's not doing that.
Yes, let's hope.
By the way, can we ask one question without giving anything away of the show?
Yeah.
His communications director, she's adorable.
Nah, I didn't do it for me.
Wow, I think she's cute.
Yeah, she doesn't do a ton.
Wow,
for me
really? I
either.
thought she's cute.
Yeah.
Except for the smoking.
No, I recognize the cuteness.
I
but
didn't like the smoking.
Yeah, I can recognize she's attractive to some people,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
not to me.
I didn't realize his brother was Pennywise.
Oh, it's a Skarsgård.
Yeah, his brother's
they're,
Pennywise.
They're like
They're
like the
famous.
Sutter brothers of Hollywood. I mean, it's
But he gets to
if
be
it's-
like the
if it
leading
looks-
man.
Yeah, if the person looks pale and they look like they're Icelandic, they're probably a Skarsgård. Yeah,
But he gets to do the parts where he's like having tons of love scenes and naked all the time and everything, and then the brother gets to be Pennywise?
I mean, I'm
You got
sure.
Nicole Kidman in Big Little Lies.
Yeah, I hated that show.
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, I couldn't stand it. Yeah.
You didn't like it.
I don't like
got Nicole
shows.
Kidman.
I don't like shows that depict rich people with problems. Like when you're living,
explain this to
you're
me.
living in a mansion. When I'm watching some rich person
And
living
everybody's
in a mansion,
miserable?
and it's like, oh, look at the problems they have. I'm like, yeah, but you're still in a mansion.
Correct.
I'm in a 1,000 square feet with a screaming toddler who just threw up all over me. So we all have problems. So I never like those kind of shows.
I got 2 episodes
It's
left.
just jealousy.
We got 2 episodes left, so we're ready to end it. And I'm going to miss the Roys, but I find those kids the most pathetic a-holes that maybe I've ever seen on TV.
The scene this season, not giving anything away, where he just says, "I love you, but you're not,
Not
serious,
serious people.
Yes.
It might be the most perfect way to sum up
Right.
the
It
show.
was. Yeah. I loved we watched the scene yesterday of Tom and Shiv on the election night tailgate on the patio.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen in television. Because I hate her.
Yeah.
I wanted her to
I
get
hated
pushed.
all three of
I
them.
wanted to get pushed.
Yeah,
out.
I hate all three of them.
Yeah.
But Eagles with $14.5 million in cap space. That's where I get to this.
That was a quick succession tangent.
14.5.
I can't believe
Talking about the Eagles' salary cap.
$14.5 million because I don't trust the numbers when it comes to Howie Roseman.
I mean, I think
How does he do it?
it's all about the restructuring. I guess you need an owner that's willing to cut the checks all the time.
Correct. If you don't have the owner that is willing to pay people in bonus, by going into their own money and paying $10 million checks, $7 million checks, $15 million
As long
checks.
as you have that, I don't think it's that hard.
And we all can agree that Jeffrey Lurie is the Roman Roy of owners, right? No,
you're Roman Roy.
I've said it before. It was a really tough day when you start to look at who you identify with as characters, and you're like,
Roman.
Crap, I'm Roman. Yeah, it was something that Mike Mayock talked about, and I have a clip that I'll probably play later this week from he joined Chris Long on Chris Long's podcast, but he talked about the struggles of being a GM in Vegas and about how their cap situation was terrible in Vegas because they didn't have an owner who forked over bonus money.
Yes.
And they just didn't believe in it. And I thought, wow, looking at as an Eagles fan, it really is an indictment on how great of an owner. You guys know this. I always thought Jeffrey Lurie was one of the best owners in sports, but how great of an owner he is. Where we all thought, all right, well, let's wait till the number comes out with Jalen Hurts. It's going to really cripple him.
It was unbelievable,
and it doesn't at all. I mean, I laid out the numbers. It's incredible how cheap his contract really is cap wise, but it's all because they have an owner who's willing to give up money up front, which. There's a lot of owners in sports that don't do that.
And he beat Burrow, and he beat Herbert to the punch.
Yeah, money-wise,
he got it done.
Paid.
But he saved money. The Eagles saved money. Jalen and the Eagles both saved. Like, Jalen lost money because of the fact that he blinked early.
Probably.
He did. If he had waited, he could have waited.
But I think it's a way to look at it, too, is it's like Jeffrey Lurie is proof positive of an owner who's willing to put his money where his mouth is, that he wants to win more than just make money. Because this is a prime example. The cap is fake, as Jamie's laid out plenty of times.
It's malleable.
Yeah, the cap doesn't really make sense, and it doesn't really affect the owners. But Jeffrey Lurie taking this financial hit to give up the money up front to Jalen Hurts in order to protect the cap
is amazing.
To give his team a chance to win is credit to him.
And then you always hear the story. It's like, the season ends, and then Lane Johnson has restructured his contract. Jordan Mailata has restructured his, and it's always, and for them, it's great because you get money up front and you get paid and it's guaranteed. And all it takes is an owner that's willing to do it, and you can really navigate the cap somewhat. I mean, I say it as an outsider, but somewhat easily.
He does. He handles it easily.
Yeah,
which is great.
Which is awesome. I mean, it's why he's as successful as he is as a GM.
Hey, Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. I bet you Howie Roseman has like 7 of them.
Do you think they pay these contracts?
I think he does.
On Amex's?
And then he gets, I think he does.
Get all the points. So Jeffrey's got like.
That's what it is. He gets all the points. How do you think he travels in private jets?
He's got like 4 billion Discover points.
So, that's right.
I guess I'm worried now that you lay all that out that maybe Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are like that FTX guy, that Sam Bachman-Fry guy.
Let's hope they're not.
It's all fake, and it's just going to crumble.
Well, they have Discover credit cards mean everything you've earned is doubled. So see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
He just got a quick 20 million points from Discover because he guaranteed Layden Johnson.
See, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great strategy. We use credit card points for everything.
Yeah, I wish I had better discipline to do that.
I know you had your problems with like credit cards.
No, it's not that. It's just like if we went out to dinner and I swiped and was like, oh, just give me the money, guys. I would then spend the money you gave me instead of putting it directly towards the credit card, and then it. I just don't have the discipline.
No, but the points you get.
That's great. But I would do it. I would do everything on the credit card if I had better discipline to pay it all right away.
I did that with Bobby Cooney.
What?
When we went out to Arizona, when we came back and we had all our expenses, Bob told the boss, he's like, yeah, by the way, like I'm gonna have like one expense because I paid Pat and Pat paid everything. And I took advantage of Bobby Cooney like that.
So we
also were roommates, so I took advantage of him in another way.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's always good. I saw the weird fart game. I saw the weirdest story this weekend, and I couldn't believe it. I read it in Forbes, so I knew it was true. I knew it wasn't some fake story. Did you read this on the
don't
sheet or
think
not?
so.
Okay, good.
No, I haven't.
Good. Pat, don't look at it. Don't glance.
I'm not. I can't read anyway.
Okay, they let there's a new sports gambling that for the first time ever they're allowing gambling on something.
Oh, I did see this.
Special Olympics. Pat's now going, what?
No, not touching
They're
this one.
gambling on the Special Olympics.
It feels really wrong,
It
doesn't it?
seems
But these people are trained athletes at the top of their field. It's weird to gamble on
it's
it
an
still.
off-site. It's betonline.ag.
Yeah, I get emails.
So it's
from
an off-site sports book, but they're betting on the Special Olympics.
No.
I agree with you. Something about it.
It feels wrong.
And it was weird. I saw it covered on 2 news channels, and 2 news channels handled it 2 different ways. One saying how it felt dirty, and one saying this is awesome for these athletes to be treated just like every other athlete that you can bet
I'm
on.
kind of torn. Like on the one hand,
I
like,
never thought of it that way, though. And
they
it is.
are the top of their athletic field, basically. So they are, elite athletes for their circumstances.
I guess I would have to ask them.
Yeah, if they're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Like there was a movie.
But it feels wrong on its surface when you hear it.
There was a movie years ago with Johnny Knoxville, The Ringer, that a lot of people got up in arms about because they were trying to defend the mentally handicapped people and the people with disabilities. And in reality, if you watch the movie, it actually painted them very well. Like they loved it because it pointed out like Johnny Knoxville thought he could just jump into the Special Olympics and just win because he was able-bodied. And they're like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, no, we're actual athletes. Like we're trained for this. So
Yeah.
I would like to hear their voice about it. I'd like to hear if they're okay with it.
I mean, the gambling on it is immediately I'm going, and it was funny because even my child says to me, you're feeling offended for somebody that didn't ask you to be offended for them.
Yes.
That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, it feels
like,
yucky to me, but
so
I want to hear their
Don't
opinion.
be. She goes, can you imagine if you were a Special Olympics athlete and you saw people were betting on your match?
Yeah, it's
She said I would think that'd be a sense of pride.
probably.
And a sense of like, oh my gosh, I'm just like
Yeah.
the real athletes that are competing, and I'm competing in my sphere,
Yeah.
and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. But
It was the weirdest story to me, though, when I saw it.
when I
was like,
read it, I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
seems weird.
I have the same reaction, but I do agree with Liv. Of,
Totally.
There's way too much in our culture nowadays of I'm going to be offended for somebody else.
correct.
Then that's why I would love to hear just how they feel about it. Now, in reality, I'll be honest. Like tomorrow, I'm going to forget about this story.
Right.
Because I'm never going to I'm never betting
You're
the
not
Olympics.
betting on it, right.
Yeah, the most obscure thing I'll bet on is MMA. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, I
so-
don't bet the regular Olympics.
I don't bet the regular
Yeah,
either.
exactly. So
I'm not really
betting
going to
Special
bet this.
Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's incredible, though. It's funny is she is the arbiter of that, though. I think that the tell me, don't be offended for other people.
Yeah.
Just
That
don't
that
be
might not
offended.
even be offended themselves.
No one needs you to be their superhero.
Mm-hmm.
If they can speak up for themselves.
Yeah.
They have it too.
If you were a superhero, John, what would your superhero name be?
Oh, jeez. My
610
the fixer. No, my girls would tell you it's the fixer
Yeah.
because they constantly tell me, Dad, you don't need to fix this. We're just venting.
See, I think your super. It would be like a lulling somebody into craziness
Really?
by talking.
So Jack
Yeah.
and I could have the same.
So
superhero?
you would be like, in a way, you'd be like the energy sucking vampire from What We Do in the Shadows, but instead of boring people, you would just throw out numbers at them, and it would confuse them.
and confuse them and have them looking.
And then all of a sudden, it's like you're putting them in a mental prison.
I think that might be the biggest difference between men and women. Is women want to talk it out and have somebody sympathize with them and their situation, and men want to fix.
Like I've told the girls.
Like, why, okay, let's fix this. Not like, I hear you.
Right.
I understand
No,
why
let's
that's
fix
frustrating. Let's fix it. And they want to just, kind of talk it out and get it off their
Well,
chest.
there's a reason why Bob the Builder is a man. I mean, can we fix it? Yes, we can.
We had a couple this weekend where a couple times in the house this weekend and lives home from college for the summer where they're seeing me struggle as I'm not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I even grimace or they'll, Dad, what's wrong? And I twice made I'm like, girls, nothing's wrong. Please stop. Like please don't overreact to every single thing that I do. And they're like, but we're just trying to show concern. And I mean, and they're right. And they're right.
Yeah,
and I can't get upset with that because they're compassionate.
Yeah.
And they're trying to take care of me.
I had the same issue with when we brought Riley home from the hospital, and Riley's whining and just kind of fussing, as babies will do. And Jack's like, Riley, what's wrong? Riley, what's wrong?
And you have to tell him.
And I'm like, Jack, he's just fussing, man. Like he's
You did
fine.
the same thing.
Yeah, but he's trying to show concern, and he wants to be a good big brother and all that. So it is funny though. It is a difference though, Jamie, with men and women. I do agree with that.
By the way, Ray Dunn, Pat, I meant to tell you when you were out.
Yeah,
Ray Dunn is Nate on Succession.
Why do you say that?
He looks the political strategist.
You think he looks like Nate?
Yes.
Oh God, no.
Who do you think?
Connor McDavid.
Ray Dunn, youth pastor.
You know, Ray is a spitting image of Connor McDavid, and it's scary to me how close they resemble each other.
Hey, in the linchpin, Jamie wants to talk Jimmy Kempski's over-unders.
And I have it this time.
Wow.
This is the linchpin.
You're getting back at it, Pat.
So I just wanted to run through some of these because I always love these. I think Jimmy does a great job covering the
He
team
does.
and
He really does.
doing the not normal kind of.
He's odd.
Yeah, he does the outside
Jimmy's
the box
quite odd.
journalism, which I always like. And he came out yesterday with 28 over-unders for the 2023 Eagles season.
Oh, I love it.
So we're just going to buzz through some of these.
Okay.
So number one on the list, Jalen Hurts passer rating over-under 94.6. For context,
What was it last year?
the 11th best passer rating last year in the NFL was 94.6. Hurts was 101.5, and the year before that was 87.2.
God, over.
You're going over?
Yes.
Pat?
I will also go over.
All right, I'm going to log our votes here on Philly Voice.
Okay.
As we go through these. More rushing yards in 2023. DeAndre Swift or Rashad Penny? That's a tough one.
Rushing yards.
Rushing.
Well, you know what's funny is we did this last week on the show when you weren't here,
Okay.
and Pat wasn't here either. Because I believe Penny could have, I'll say, rushing yards, Penny.
I agree, but I'm afraid.
Total receiving yards, total yards, DeAndre Swift.
I'm afraid of time missed for Penny.
I'm afraid of time missed for DeAndre Swift.
That's true.
I'll go Penny.
All right, we're logged in
Wow,
with Penny.
that shocks me that we all said that.
Marcus Mariota, games started over under 1.5.
Over.
I unfortunately agree as well.
I don't think
Now-
it's an unfortunate, though. I think he starts because they've clinched up the division.
Does it have Marcus Mariota chances he quits on yet another team?
No, that's not on here.
Over? Because I'll bet the over because he's done it twice in his career.
More receiving yards, A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith.
Ooh.
Oh man, I'll go with AJ Brown.
All right, so I have to decide here. I'm going to take the safer play, which is A.J. But that's a close one.
Screw you both.
Last year, Devontae was about
1,100?
he was at
Almost
1,200 yards, and AJ had almost 1,500.
1,400, right?
That's
Yeah, whatever.
1,496.
Yeah, it's great.
We watched arguably the best season
amazing.
of Eagles wide receivers ever had.
Absolutely. I don't even think it's close.
Well, I mean, I would put the TO year over that.
But then who was second to T.O.? Todd Pinkston?
Todd Pinkston? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that wasn't even then. It
No, I'm talking one
I
wide
get
receiver.
you.
I'm not talking a wide receiver.
Okay.
More receiving yards, Quez Watkins or Olamide Zacchaeus? And I still don't have his name down pat
Is
yet.
that because he went to the prep?
Yeah, he is a prep kid.
I'll go-
Him and DeAndre Swift are teammates now. It's pretty cool.
I'll go Quez because I don't know how to say the other guy's name.
Zacchaeus.
I'll go
Zacchaeus?
Quez. Zacchaeus, I thought.
Zacchaeus, yeah, okay.
I think it's
There you go.
Zacchaeus.
I'll get there maybe by the game one.
My oncologist is from the prep, so I'm rooting for
Oh,
them to
God.
have a really good time.
True or false, Cam Jurgens starting right guard week one?
True.
True.
I think true as well. Dallas got it receiving yards over under 830.5.
Ooh, good number.
His season high is 830 in
Over.
21.
Over.
I'll go under.
I'm going to go under two. More defensive snaps played. Nicholas Morrow or Christian Ellis? Morrow's the guy they brought in from the Bears, and Christian Ellis is the guy that apparently
Christian Ellis.
lit up OTAs.
Christian Ellis.
I'll go Morrow because I think he's the incumbent.
That's not a bad one.
I'm going to go Christian Ellis. Let's go outside the box a little bit. And then we'll just do like one or two more of these.
Okay.
Jalen Carter sacks. Over, under 4. It says 4.2, but I guess that means
Jalen Carter.
4.5. I don't know where the 0.2 comes in. But he's got 4.5, we'll say.
Over.
He's going to have 17.
That's very good, Pat.
Over.
Jordan Davis sacks. Over, under 2.5.
Over. He's going to have like 3 or 4.
I'll go under.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like that answer, Pat. I don't like your attitude.
I'm not as high as other people are.
No,
I was very disappointed with him last year.
Okay, well,
But they didn't need him to do a lot last
You're right.
year. That's my
and
hope.
That's
How
what I
about
keep
this?
going
He's
back.
gotta-
I'm a Negadelph fan.
Yeah, he's got to earn your trust.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
You didn't earn your trust last year.
No,
so.
and I would love to sit here and laugh about this prediction. In a couple months.
Nolan Smith sacks 2.5 as well.
Over.
Apparently, he all the reporters were saying that he looks jacked.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Like he is a physical specimen. Like he presents kind of like slender, I guess. But when people said when you see this guy, he's just
He's a Wolverine. I think he does the Wolverine
does he?
stuff. Like
I'm into that.
He wants to be the triangle.
He was on the
beast.
Chris Long podcast as well. He was on
That was fun,
for a
wasn't
quick
it?
one. My God, hearing this guy talk, he's going to be a fan favorite here because he basically just said I think Chris was asking him about coming up from the South and playing in the cold and whatnot. And he goes, man, I just want to effing hit somebody. And when you hit somebody, you warm up quick. Like he on draft day, he kind of looks like your CPA.
Yes.
But my God, he's got the right attitude. Like he just wants to go out there and blow somebody up.
Yeah, I can't wait for football. All right, here's the final two. Nakobe Dean over under 129.5 tackles.
Under.
For context, TJ Edwards had 130 last year, 159 in 2022.
Yeah, he's over.
Over? I'll
He's going
agree
to
with
get the
that.
opportunity.
I think he's under.
Okay, that's bad. Pat, if Davis,
The voting is split on that one.
if those are, that's,
I gotta-
bad news
I'm
for this
going-
team if that's the case.
I'm going with the same logic that I had with Jordan Davis. I didn't see it last year.
No, I get you, but
I
if
didn't, and in fact, I saw more from Jordan Davis than I did from Nakobe Dean. Now I'm high on Nakobe Dean as well, but I just need to see something to lead me to believe he's going to have that many tackles.
I'm high on his reputation, but I have to
Yeah.
be proving it.
Yeah, sure. And then the last one, Hassan Reddick sacks over under 13.5. It's a good
Over.
number.
Over, because I think he started off slow last year.
He did.
We were like, it was like 3 weeks in, and we all were
Sirianni
like,
was like, trust me, he's about to get there.
yeah,
I'll
we all
go
were
over.
like, where is he?
I'll go over,
I'll
but
go
I don't
over
think much.
too.
But I don't think much.
Yeah, I agree. Like 14 or 15.
Because I do believe there's more guys now you're going to see. And I think Nolan Smith is going to be one of them.
Yeah. And then there's, a couple other ones on
That's
there.
good news.
I am worried a little bit about how much of a job like Javon Hargrave did for freeing up Hassan Reddick for getting those sacks.
That's a
And the
concern,
impact.
yeah.
I mean, like Hassan Reddick usually wasn't. There was a couple times where he was, untouched, but a lot of times it was truly a team effort of somebody would push the pocket and push the quarterback up the pocket enough, or push him out.
Yeah, I
where
think
Hassan Reddick would end up getting the result of
Brandon Graham getting double-digit sacks, I think, was a lot to do with
that.
Javon
Yeah,
Hargrave.
agreed.
I heard that Chris Long podcast bit with Nolan Smith, and I swear to you, close your eyes, personality-wise, it's the new Brandon Graham.
Yeah, I agree.
He has that.
Kind of makes you smile.
Yeah.
Yes, and he is a little potty mouth.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
It was awesome.
A little bit of a potty mouth.
I like
but
that.
Not, but not a potty mouth where you'd go, okay, he's being gratuitous. He
He was excited.
he's so excited to be an Eagle, too.
Cool. I love to hear that.
I after listening to this, John, 15,
Yes.
20 minutes?
15, 20.
I was ready to go and buy a
Nolan Smith jersey.
I'm
I
telling
was
you.
like, this dude.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
This dude is the embodiment of what it means to be an Eagle in terms of just his attitude of wanting to get out there and be
Love it.
like a physical force.
I will tell you that more than enough people around the Georgia program have said to me, as long as Nolan Smith stays close to Jalen Carter and pushes him, Jalen Carter will be fine.
Okay.
They have no concerns about Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith
And
has,
apparently Jordan Davis also
yes,
very good
very much.
influence on
but that's
Carter.
that's part of it. So they're all together.
Man, if they hit on these two,
Oh my gosh!
You know what? If Jordan Davis's biggest impact of his Eagles career, because we were talking about how I'm a little bit down on him after last year. If his biggest impact, though, is keeping Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith
well, he doesn't have to keep Nolan Smith.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like they're mentoring them or whatever, or Jalen Carter in check. I'm fine with that.
Well,
Like
no-
I'll take a Mike Patterson type career if it means that he's keeping those two guys. Not Nolan Smith as you said, but more so Jalen Carter. He's keeping them like in check. I'll take that.
That Nolan Smith is the guy, Pat, from what I've been told, that if Coach Smart came into the room and said, "Hey guys, I've been hearing there's some guys who've been slacking off in study hall. We cannot have any academic slippage. We cannot have any." And he goes, "This bull got to stop." Like he would go off for Coach after Coach left. He would go off and be like, "This is what needs to be done, guys." He's that kind of guy.
So it
that's
does
good
sound
news.
like Brandon Graham.
That's good news. Yes, exactly. That's the way it works. Andrew, hold on for us. We'll get to you and more. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Bet Parks.
Philadelphia, 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. FanFest 2023 with FanDuel Sportsbook coming your way Saturday, August 26th from 11 to 5 at Xfinity Live, the 10th anniversary of FanFest. It's going to be a huge musical guest.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to get announced.
It will not be Belle Biv DeVoe.
It is not?
I can tell you that.
It will not.
They are busy, and it won't be at FanFest.
Huge approval from my 19-year-old.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be kind of shocked how big the person
It's a huge approval, which is great.
I was hoping for Milli Vanilli. I was shot down.
Well, the sound system, we'd have to make sure the sound system worked. Millie, because if you don't do it, is Millie the cheater of Vanilli?
Well, they both.
They were both in on
both.
it.
Yeah,
They're both in on it?
And then the one, it ruined the one's life. The one ended up.
What?
Yeah, the one ended up committing suicide over it.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
I didn't
either.
mean for this to go down a dark
No,
path.
I didn't know
but
that
yeah,
either.
No,
Really?
He was really. Yeah, because they tried to make a career like with their own voice. The problem is they couldn't sing,
Correct.
and the one just could never get over it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So you commit fraud and then you can't get over it?
I don't necessarily think it was them. I think they weren't like they were the puppet. They weren't the puppet master. Like, it was more the record label.
I've heard this over and over again.
What do you mean you've heard?
My wife and I debate this all the time.
Well, I think your wife is right then.
Did you watch the George Michael biopic?
No.
That George Michael was not allowed to be out. So they made him pretend that he was...
Wait, George Michael's gay?
Stop.
Yeah, you gotta have faith.
George Michael was made to be like, okay, well, you have to portray yourself this way. You have to be seen with this woman. You have to do all these things. And I said to her, George Michael made that decision.
Don't
blame it on the record label.
It's the
You
price of
took
fame.
the money.
It's the price of fame.
Correct. You decided this is part of the job, but don't feel sorry for someone having to do that.
I feel sorry for somebody in the sense of they shouldn't have to do that.
But they
Like,
did
they shouldn't
it.
be asked to do it.
But they made the decision to do it. They said,
I see. This is where
I'll
me and
sell
Christina.
out.
This is why Christina is my favorite Kincaid.
I thought Liv was, but she's not. Okay.
It's a
I'm
tie.
telling her.
It's a tie between. Don't do that.
Telling her.
Don't do that, John.
Go tell her.
Now you're just trying to
So division
Yes.
in my own house.
Me and the Kincaid women are tight.
they
That's
get
all you
along
need to
well.
know.
Hey, Mattress Warehouse is kicking off their summer of savings. Save up to $800 plus. Get your choice of a free adjustable base or a free box spring only at Mattress Warehouse. Andrew held on in Phoenixville. Andrew, good morning. You're on The Fanatic. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Pat, congratulations. Hope everybody's doing well at the house.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, everyone's good, man. Thank you.
Excellent. So, getting back to the Birds, I'm excited that for the season. Talking to Ray yesterday, and honestly, I put the wins at 15.
What?
15? Yeah, I really, and Ray was shocked too. But honestly, looking at the schedule,
There's a very good chance, Andrew, they start at least 6-0 or 7-0.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm not worried about the Jets because obviously with, they're restructuring, they're rebuilding.
I don't think they're
I'd be a little
rebuilding
worried
at
about
all.
the
I think their
Jets, yeah.
defense is fantastic, and now they have Aaron Rodgers.
Well, we have a better defense and we have a better offense. And, ESPN is telling us that, Eagles' offensive line is the best offensive line in the country. So I'm not worried about offense. The defense, the linebacking core is probably a little bit concerning to me, and then the secondary. So of those two areas, which ones are you guys more concerned about, the linebacking core or the secondary?
Linebacking
The
core.
line looks like it's the defensive line looks like it's well taken care of and it'll be fine.
Linebacking core, absolutely. Thanks, Andrew. Most. For me, no question.
Yeah, I think because we don't really know what anyone is.
Yes.
I don't have any equity built with Nicholas Morrow. I don't know what he's all about. Christian Ellis is like this up-and-coming special teamer guy. Nakobe Dean, we didn't really see play.
I'm high on the potential of Nakobe Dean.
Sure.
But I have no idea whether it's
No
going to work
clue.
at the NFL level.
Yeah. I would say linebacker just because I feel like it's back to Eagles life, which is underperforming, not talented enough linebackers.
Let's hope not.
Well, let's hope not.
Hey, in Pat's point of view, are the Phillies hitting their stride or not?
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
You are back.
That's right. We're back with the hot takes.
Riley's dad is here.
Before we get to your point of view, do we want to go through the Eagles schedule real quick and do W's and L's?
No, let's not
you
do
know
that.
what? Okay. Jamie, thank you for opening it up because that was my point of view. I fooled Johnny with this topic, but it was actually W's and L's.
Game one at the Patriots. Win!
So the Phillies obviously have been very hot since I decided to bring more life into the world. Riley's birthday is June 6th, which they won, everybody knows, 1-0 game. Kyle Schwarber hit a leadoff home run.
Did you play Dancing on My Own for him when he came into the world?
So here's kind of I'll try to abbreviate this. It was probably in the 5th inning, and I'm like, this kid's not going to make it during the game. Like I at one point I thought he would end up arriving during the game, and I'm like, he's not making it during the game. And then all of a sudden, kid was like, I got to show up. And 8th inning popped
Phillies
around.
are on a hot streak.
Yeah,
He was stealing. He stole a base.
8th inning popped around and he popped out. So there's a longer version of that story. I'll tell you off air. But yeah, so they've been pretty hot. Detroit, they ended up winning that series, but Detroit's bad. We all know that. Dodgers was a good win, series win. They won
bullpen games though.
Yeah.
You won both bullpen games. You're never going to face the Dodgers and play bullpen games.
You're not. Don't get me started on bullpen games. It's my bane of my existence.
Man.
It's dumb. Arizona, you end up having a 4-game series against Arizona. You end up taking 3 or 4. I think Arizona's a paper tiger. I think they have a really good record now. I just don't really believe in them too much. But still, I mean, you took 3 or 4 in a 4-game series. It's tough to do. And then yesterday, you end up capping off a sweep of the Oakland A's, who were terrible. I'm just a little concerned that you look at this recent stretch that they're on, and it's a little deceiving. I mean, if you go to June, all right, so they start off June losing against the Mets, but then they win the series against Washington,
right?
Who isn't all that great offensively wise.
And they should have swept that one.
They're pretty good. Yeah, they should have. Detroit bad, and then Dodgers, and I laid it all out. I think you're going to find out if the Phillies are actually back in this next series against the Braves.
Yes.
They face Spencer Strider. You know, you're not going up against James Carpillion or whatever his name was, or some guy named Hogan, whatever. You're going up against like legitimate big league talent that is good.
Strider versus Suarez should be a good one.
It should
Strider's struggling though.
It should be a good one. And I'm
a lot of pitchers are struggling.
I'm pumped for this game and to see what this team is, because I can't help but go, you're beating up on the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland Athletics. It's great, but are you actually hitting your stride? Because when I watch a team struggle and only score 3 runs on Saturday and 3 runs yesterday against the lowly Oakland Athletics, and they're throwing guys out there that have ERAs near 7, I get a little concerned.
I think they have. But I do think the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, I agree with you. I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to end up winning that division, but they're still probably wild.
Who does? Dodgers?
Yeah, I would think so. And are you going to give it up to Gabe if he makes the wild card?
If they want, if they're a playoff team, absolutely I would. But it won't happen.
So I'm with you there, but I think the Dodgers and Diamondbacks things are enough for me to believe.
I mean, they could come out of June really, really favorably. If they end up taking. For me, I don't know about you guys. For Atlanta's series, I'm just hoping that they don't get swept. Like if they end up, well, if they end up losing,
whoa, war
win
child.
2 out of 3, Pat.
If they end up losing,
you said the S word, man.
Can I finish my statement?
The S word.
Are you done? If they end up going 1 of 3 against Atlanta, but they
1
of 2, but they followed up with a series win or a sweep of the Mets. I'll take that.
A 500 homestand will be good with you?
Yeah.
No,
when you're facing Atlanta, yeah. I mean, I'd be okay with it.
They play Atlanta well, though.
You split in Atlanta. You split 2-2 in Atlanta. I want a series win.
This is
the Braves.
This is a soy boy argument I'm having. I'm not saying I don't want a series win. I will not be outraged and coming in.
If they go 1 and 2.
If they go 1 and 2, I'm not going to be coming and going, there it is. They're not real. It's fake.
Well, you can say goodbye to. You're going to say goodbye to the division for
probably, and I'd be lying if I said I might have already said goodbye to the division. So maybe might have.
I've said goodbye to the division.
You are double soy.
Goodbye to the division. I am. I'm a soy boy.
Yeah,
but you end up facing the Mets after that, the Cubs after that, and the Nationals after that. Like those are very, very winnable series that you should handle. So my point is, if you come out of June having lost one series, and that would be the Braves series, that's a really, really good June. And I guess that's why I'm okay if they only end up taking one win in this upcoming series against the Braves.
I'd like to see them beat the Mets.
I absolutely hate your mentality.
But they have to handle business for the rest of the month. They have to win the Mets series, they have to win the Cubs series, and they have to win the National series.
The Mets stink right now. You better stop this losing to the Mets thing like now.
The Mets are finding new ways to lose, and it's awesome.
And then you have the Florida trip before the All-Star break, the week where you go to Tampa for 3 and then you go to Miami for 3. And right now you're trailing the Marlins by 3. You want to get over the Marlins. As I said, don't talk about the postseason until you're a second-place team. So once you get there, then you can say, okay, we're sitting there in playoff position.
I think they're a lock for the playoffs. That's how strongly I believe.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not there yet.
I said it.
The Marlins are 10 games over 500.
I know, they're good. But I think they're going to be one of the wild. I think there's going to be 2 NL East wildcard teams.
Again?
Yep.
That's bold and
beautiful. The NFL East. The NL East is probably one of the is it the toughest division in baseball?
AL East. But NL East is probably right there. I mean, the Rays.
You put the AL East over the.
I mean, the Yankees were like in last place until not that long ago, and they're pretty good.
They just got swept by the
AL East.
I would take the NL East over the AL
It's
East.
a good one. I mean,
I'd take the NL East over the
how
AL
about
East.
us thriving in the East? Look at us.
Yep.
Thriving?
That's the way it works.
I don't know if we're thriving, but we're there.
We're back, Pat.
We're at the party.
You're 1 game behind the Dodgers this morning.
That's crazy to me.
That doesn't seem viable.
The fact the Dodgers aren't in first place is
They're in
nuts to me.
third place.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's incredible.
I mean, they dealt with some injuries.
Yes, they have.
Big injuries, but still, they're really, really talented.
Did you see the Saturday night play the other night? The end of the Dodgers game?
No.
Oh, you have to go hear the audio of it. If you pull it, Pat, I bet you can find it if the machinery works. Saturday night, John Miller doing on the Giants.
I did hear this.
It was Giants-Dodgers.
I did hear this. A Greek tragedy.
Oh, my God, it was terrible. The play was terrible. The play looked like Little Leaguers. I'm not kidding you. It was that bad, that poorly executed. I know this. If you want to see like Little Leaguers on a golf course, you're going to go to Turtle Creek Golf Course for the fantastic Fanatic Charity Golf Classic.
I was looking at pictures of it this morning. It looks like a nice place.
It's beautiful.
Can't wait.
Do you know the Golf Digest? Not me. Golf Digest says one of the best maintained courses in the area with the best turf of any course in the Northeast.
Wow.
Did you know that Scotty Scheffler said that he would have rather played Turtle Creek
than LA Country Club.
Country Club? And that is a legitimate quote that I didn't just make up.
And
I believe you.
And Ricky Fowler said, I could have easily just as well choked at Turtle Creek
Oh, poor Rick.
as I did. We talked about this on Friday. And Bob was like, I've never thought of Ricky Fowler as a choker. I'm like, who do you think of in modern golf as a choker
Rory.
after Greg Norman? No.
He hasn't
Rory's
won
already won.
He hasn't won a
But
major
Rory's
in what, like a
already won.
decade?
But he's already won one.
Yeah, but it's been a long time.
You can't count him.
Ricky,
You gotta
I
go
just
to the guy.
I view him as a guy that never lived up to his potential, not necessarily choking.
But
they're cousins.
But he always chokes when he has a chance to win. And yesterday going in, my buddy Joe sends me a text yesterday morning and he goes, do you think Ricky can pull it off? And I said, nope.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think I'm going to be rooting for him today. And I said, I may too.
Yeah, I was definitely pulling.
But I'm like,
I don't follow golf, but I've never heard of him being a choke
oh,
artist.
he's a choke artist. When he has a chance to win, he's not coming through.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. As a guy that doesn't follow the sport,
He doesn't come through with it. Yesterday, he was sitting there in the perfect opportunity to win.
is he like a modern day Jean Van de Velde?
No. Much more talented.
Okay,
Much more talented. But
that's what I think of when I hear golf
a modern
choking.
day Greg Norman without as many impressive wins.
I think Jean Van de Velde and Tin Cup as
There you go.
choke artists in terms of golf.
Well, why don't you go play the Turtle now, Jamie? You got a little time.
Yeah.
Go to turtlecreek.com for online bookings. Say hello to the whole crew up there. And we'll be playing the Turtle on Monday, July the 31st. You need to have the day off. So you need to make sure you've put in for the vacation day, and hopefully you're going to be there. Coach, is there any chance any other spots may open up? I mean, that's sold out fast.
Yeah, it sold out within, I think it was like a day and a half. Yeah.
Any chance, maybe?
Maybe. We can see.
Maybe, but we don't expect it. So, but hopefully we'll be able to see you out there. It'll be a great time. That's going to be an awesome event. Monday, July. First of all, I think people were like, a couple of buddies of mine were like, I can't believe it sold out that fast. I said Monday golf tournament.
Yeah.
I think a Monday golf tournament is always going to sell out faster than like a Thursday afternoon.
11 o'clock start.
Yes. So you could still get some work done.
Yep.
You could still get a little bit of work done if you wanted to.
You get to hang out with Jamie. That's
always fun.
Big selling point.
And I think the fact that it's centrally located, it's just above King of Prussia. So you've got people can come from you can come from Jamie's part of town, my part of town, everything. Everybody can come and centrally meet there. It's not asking people to come to some place that's a huge hall. So great job. The Turtle is awesome. You will love it. I want to be mayor of the Turtle. It's awesome. It is a great spot.
King Turtle.
The Phillies have won 5 straight series. But I circled this. I went back to my notes and said, we talked about this back in spring training. This is the series that I had scheduled that I thought Bryce Harper would return on. And I really thought that the Phillies would be getting themselves in position to make a run. After what Pat just said, I believe, Coach, we could work on another suspension for Pat because I do not want to hear. I mean, I do not want to hear anything about losing 2 out of 3 being good enough against the Braves. I love the fact that they play the Braves well, Patty.
Well, you're kind of misconstruing. You're taking my words out of context.
Well, that makes that's sort of fun for me to do that.
Yeah. Like on the surface, yes, that is what I said.
Okay.
But I followed up with, but they have to win the other series in the month so that you're able to look back on the month of June and go, hey, we lost 1 series and it's to arguably the best team in baseball.
Well, I'm watching everybody beat the Mets. So watching everybody beating, if I go back in June and say, wow, look what we did. We beat the Nats twice. Mm-hmm. We beat the Mets. Mm-hmm. We beat the A's. We beat the Tigers.
Yeah.
I'm going to say none of those teams are going to be standing in our way in October.
Hey, but you still have to win them, right?
You do.
If they lost those games.
And last year, that's the games they won with Topper.
Yeah. I mean, you still have to win them, and that's kind of my big takeaway. I mean, I guess what I should have said was I will not be doom and gloom if they lose the Brave series.
Well, don't be. Do they play well? Are we talking about
it'll
we
be
lose?
Frustrating.
You lose 5-4. You lose 4-3. You lose. Okay.
It depends on how they lose, for sure.
I'm expecting the Phillies to have a little bit of a swagger coming into this.
100%. I think they feel as though they did last postseason run, like where we can win any game.
Crowds are supposed to be awesome all week long.
They're doing great attendance-wise.
They're doing this exactly what I said to you last year and the year before. I kept saying to you, where are the fans? Where are the fans? Fans got to show up. Fans got to support.
Philadelphia.
The owner is spending. Show up. Well, they've shown up this year.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's this way to a degree in most major cities, but I feel like Philadelphia really does not want to spend their money for bad products or products they don't believe in. And I don't think last year, I don't think that people believed until like August and September.
Well, there was nobody in the stadium during the run to make the postseason.
It was for me. It was a lot like the Sixers of the second round exits. Well, and the Sixers have gotten to the point too where it's like I'm at the point with that team of wake me up when you get out of the second round, and I think the majority of Philadelphia was wake me up when you actually get into the playoffs because we had been strung along for so many years, recently at least, like the past 3 or 4 years, where it seemed like they would be down in the final series of the season with a chance to go to the playoffs, and they'd choke, they'd crap the bed, and you were left without in October. And I think a lot of the fans in Philly were, all right, wake me up when you actually do it, and then we'll show up. And they did it, and the fans have shown up this season, even though the team hasn't been playing all that well. Recently they have, but before
they've shown up and been great.
They've still shown up, and there's a sense of belief. And I think the Sixers are going to struggle attendance-wise this upcoming year because of that.
Do you really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll be...
Not struggling.
I don't think there's going to be this sellout streak that they've had recently. I think it'll be 60% full, 70% full.
Wow.
By the way, Keith Pompey kind of feels as though a Harden reunion is becoming more and more likely. I read that this morning.
Going to be my topic for tomorrow.
I am.
But you just stole it.
Okay, I'm ill.
But
you just stole it.
I'm ill.
But the good news in this is that a 2-year deal is being discussed.
I'm ill.
Possibly a
and
third.
I know
we know you're ill. You
I know
said.
I'm ill.
I mean, and we're
yes,
here,
we got that.
John, we're here with you.
We're hoping he says.
All right, we're wishing you nothing but the best.
Yes.
But if it's 2 years,
you have to change the name of the show.
Yeah, it's much more manageable at 2 years than 3 or 4.
That'd be terrible. Think how much of a cost to change these signs.
Yeah, but think about what the ratings would do.
Exactly.
I mean, do you want to help us out or not?
There's a balance. There is a balance in this thing. I said the other day, no, Pat, I said the other day and got in trouble. I said, I want to make sure that the golf tournament doesn't have a new name next year.
Yeah.
And
no memorial.
I was ridiculed for that one. So none of that.
You can make the jokes about it.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to make the jokes.
Yeah, you're going through it.
I'd rather have your attitude than a doom and gloom.
Yes.
Like if I was going through what you're going through, I'll tell you right now, it'd be doom and gloom.
No, you wouldn't be.
I'm pretty sure I would. Yeah, I'd be like a miserable.
I don't think you would be.
Well, I hope I'll never have to find out.
I think you'd be. I think you'd be Roman and Roy.
You think I'd be sending?
I think you'd be sending
Bob
pics.
Cooney some pictures.
I think you would. You'd be sending them. I'm hoping you're not sending them to anybody else.
Yeah,
Roman.
I mean, you should talk about a suspension.
Now you have a second son to worry about. That's second son. The gentleman.
I was about to say a succession line, but it's kind of.
I know. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, was that a giveaway?
Same thing.
Not a giveaway. Can't use it. I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, I think I know what line you're saying.
Totally.
By the way, the gentleman says here, Pat, just for you, he said in reference to what John was saying earlier, the second son is one of the most notorious as far as birth order depictors still in modern day. The second son never inherited anything until 1900s. The first son inherited everything. The second son inherited nothing. So the second son always had to make their own way in the world.
I want to use this line even more now.
So this is from, and guess
Can
what?
you finish the show so I can use this line?
By the way, Second World War was the time when second sons actually in over half the states got legal right to inherit.
Was that because, and I'm guessing, because wasn't there a law at one point of you couldn't send like an only child.
Right.
So the oldest boy would go, the second son, if there was only two, would stay home because you couldn't send the youngest one. Mm-hmm. And then he would inherit the stuff, but that doesn't. Saving Private Ryan, though, he was the youngest boy, so I don't know if I'm just making this stuff up as I go.
No, you're
along.
not. No, in fact, my dad's family had 3 girls, 5 guys. My uncle Bill, Matt's grandfather, cousin Matt's grandfather, was the youngest boy. So my dad was a year ahead of him at Lower Merion High School, graduated Lower Merion, and got drafted into the Second World War. Uncle Bill was exempt. All his brothers had went to the war. He did not have to go. And what did Uncle Bill do?
Started a pancake house.
That's not a bad thing. And a bookie in the back, pancake house in the front.
I do like his pancakes.
He disregarded everybody and signed up for the service.
What a bad boy.
He was a bad boy because he wanted to make sure because
they were built different back then.
They were. Mike and Delran joins us. Mike, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing? How you feeling, John?
I was feeling like crap some of the weekend, but I'm feeling great today, Mike. Thank you for asking, buddy.
Glad to hear.
Thank you, buddy.
Crap, but I was
11 more to go. 11 more.
All right, good. We got your back. Hey, well, not on this topic though. I disagree with you. You know what I love more than sports? My money. And when I got to spend $40 to park, a bunch of money to eat, $100 of tickets from taking me and my kids, and I got to go put out $400 just to go see a game. It better be worth it, right? So I don't blame people that didn't fill that stadium last year. That playoff drought was so long, and I definitely won't be going to a Sixers game anytime early next year because I can't sit there and spend that money knowing the last time I saw the 2 stars on my team give me 0 effort. I can't do it.
But Mike, here's the question though, and Pat and I have talked about this before. You do not have to spend $400 to go to a Phillies game.
If I want to take my family, I do.
No, you don't.
That's because you have 27 kids, Mike.
That's because you're promiscuous,
all you
Mike.
do is have sex.
We're to blame for you being promiscuous?
That's the Phillies' fault because I was bored. I couldn't watch the games. I was having all these games.
Why did you get board games, Mike?
Because they're not good. I'm not good at board games. I'm good at having kids. Go Birds!
He puts a whole new meaning in "Don't Wake Daddy."
Seriously. Hey, we got a lot coming up for you, including, are we fooling ourselves to not even consider this? John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hi.
I don't have anything, Pat. The BetParx app is breaking the law. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. I understand Rodney and Erica McLeod will be coming down the hallway soon. They'll be coming and joining us.
Cool. I always really liked Rodney as a player.
Can we get Rodney to consider?
I think he's still.
Is he still looking?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I think he signed somewhere.
I don't.
Let's check.
I don't think so.
I didn't think he had, but maybe he did.
And he was in Indy last year, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was in Indy last year.
Yes.
And he is with the Browns. Yeah.
Oh, he is with the Browns.
He's
Okay.
going to be with the Browns.
I loved Rodney McLeod. He was one of the most underrated players during his Eagles tenure because he was just so...
He was steady.
He wasn't flashy. He didn't wow you.
To me, safety is all about steadiness.
When he was out,
I don't want you
noticed
to...
him.
Right. I want to know... I don't necessarily want to hear your name that much.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if I hear your name for the wrong reasons, then we're screwed.
In a weird way, he was like an offensive lineman on the defensive backside. Where you're right. Like, you didn't really want to hear his name, but he just consistently did his job at a high level. You never had to worry about Rodney McLeod being out of position, getting burnt, anything like that. And as I said, when he was out, man, you noticed it.
Yeah.
Hey, June is Rose Month, and Pilates Florist has 16 different colors that are available to you, and they're all on sale for just $59.95 a dozen in a vase, $20 off the regular price. Call 800-215-2929 or go to pilatesflorist.com. Absolute legends of Delco.
Yeah?
Pilates Florist.
Oh, yeah?
That's where you go. Yes,
right.
you would go to Pilates. My mom was a believer that was the case.
That was the big flower.
And they sent some flowers over. They sent the colon cancer colors.
Oh,
the
cool.
blue roses over to the house, and they held up beautifully.
Nice.
Looking gorgeous. Love the folks at Pilates.
My wife loves flowers, man. Anytime.
Real loves flowers?
Yeah, like anytime I bring flowers home, it is just an absolute home run.
It's on, Pat.
Is that what we're calling it? A home run?
It's a home run.
Okay, James.
When you bring home flowers? Bring home flowers?
That's all. Now we know. Now we know how Paige came around.
I wish it was that simple.
Well, what was the story with Riley? I mean, can we find out?
It's called an accident.
An accident.
She tripped and I fell.
I was one. So, I mean, I can absolutely understand.
That was the story with that.
That reminded me of
Doc's
a line from Last Boy Scout. Would you accidentally slip, trip, and
Doc's like Doc's like 6 some years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was a blizzard. I think I was a blizzard. So at that point, we'll talk to the McLeods coming up. By the way, just to our friends down the aisle here in our hallway, did you see the party that XTU put on down the beach?
It looked pretty wild. Yeah, I saw pictures. Our buddy Donnie was posting some stuff on Instagram this weekend. I didn't realize it was going on like that.
Candy Winters really knows how to throw a party.
Jeez, that was cool. On the beach like that?
Oh, my gosh. Like it was incredible crowds, wild. And I say it because a friend of ours, their daughter got a $100 cash tip from someone who was there performing.
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool.
Do you know who the performer?
I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you one performer.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you any.
Not my kind of music.
Is it a name I might recognize?
Oh, yes.
Who was
a 100
Garth Brooks.
Eric Church.
I'm going to give you a couple here. Kid Rock,
No.
Darius Rucker,
No.
Blake Shelton.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Yes.
I've heard
I said no to the other ones because I know they
Blake
didn't perform.
Shelton.
I've heard Blake Shelton's like the man.
Blake Shelton
He apparently has a great reputation.
gave people I know their daughter a $100 tip.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
And all she did was go and get towels and bottled water.
That's awesome.
I saw Barkley do that one time. Which,
$100
he's
for a
known
kid.
for
You're like,
doing
oh,
that.
that's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
Barkley and Shaq try to outdo each other.
I just saw a video.
Like they both see if they can outdo.
Shaq was in Home Depot and
I
he
saw
bought
that.
a family washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Out of
He
the
dressed up though like he was.
Yeah, he had the.
He was the worker.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
I would do
it's-
that too if I had Shaq money.
Yeah, me too.
What? Just be a
awesome.
goofball and walk around and be a
Yeah,
goofball?
help people out.
He
you know,
is.
a washer and dryer. You know, it's not the most money in the world, but like
No,
if you're in need a little bit and somebody buys that for you, that's incredible.
Yeah, to you, it's
that is
Yeah, no
fantastic.
money.
That is absolutely awesome. If that comes,
that
comes about.
Shaq's
Look.
the best. He's my favorite non-Philadelphia athlete ever.
we're a little shaken in the household because of I will not be able to attend Uncle Shaq's concert.
oh,
Which-
his name's Diesel. Let's have some respect.
Diesel.
Okay,
You mean his alter ego?
it's not Ulti. His name's Diesel.
I am not allowed because of
DJ Diesel.
because of my chemotherapy. I will not be able to attend. It's too big a crowd, so they've told me I'm not allowed to go. Liv's a little bummed.
Yeah, I bet.
I think I'll be there.
You're gonna go?
To DJ Diesel.
You're gonna go see DJ Diesel?
You go to a DJ Diesel concert and a Phillies game.
Now
pops
he
up?
likes. You know what Shaq's specialty is, though, Pat? It's the WBCs.
Huh?
The White Boy Classics.
Like, give me an example of one.
He plays 80s White Boy Classics.
So, like,
That's his. He
like
has.
Informer by Snow.
I guarantee you this. You can look at me. I'll know 80% of the tunes, but he's constantly mixing and matching. He gets the crowd going nuts. It's awesome.
Okay.
So it'll be a fun time. But he calls them his WBCs.
Okay.
So be ready for it. It pays right to your demographic.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It really does. Look who's in studio with us. Super Bowl champion, Rodney McLeod, sitting across studio from us.
Thank you for that. That was
Rodney,
really
what's
cool.
going on,
Yeah,
man?
it was nice of
Doing
you.
well this morning. How you guys doing?
Really, really well. And we're glad you brought Erica with you, too.
Yeah.
Just to balance out beauty in the room, which is great. We like that. Glad to have you guys here. You're promoting your third annual Sneaker Ball fundraiser. We'll get to that coming up. But I want you to know something because we've never met before. As a kid who grew up here, and I'm sure you've had 50, 100 people do this to you. As someone who grew up here, who the Eagles were my absolute obsession of my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
February 4th, 2018 meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that moment when that Hail Mary hit that ground.
I was on the verge of puking. Once that passed,
I swear to you, when that ball hit the ground, I said, oh my God, it finally happened.
Yeah.
And you were a part of that.
Yeah. I had the same reaction.
I mean, you were ready to puke too?
I mean, honestly, you're in that situation. How did it even get down to this moment? And I'm just like,
Because it's
don't let
Tom
me be
Brady
on
and it's the Patriots.
Don't let me be on the wrong side of history right now. But once the ball hit, I kind of looked around just to make sure there was no yellow
there's
flags.
a hesitation.
Yeah, naturally speaking, and
You're
the next
looking.
thing you know, confetti. I said it's real.
So when you look back
did
on
it.
that team, you've been, part of the Colts and now the Browns and some other teams. When you look back on it, was there something just different besides obviously winning and being talented? Was there a cohesiveness that's just different than other experiences you've had?
Correct. I think it had a lot to do with the players that were in that locker room who really formed and made the culture what it was. That brotherhood, that a sense of accountability, the standard that was set. Everybody bought in, and that's very rare. And people played very selfless. And so when you have that combination, then, you're going to do some special things. And we were able to win a championship. But I think during that time that I was there, we won a lot of games because of that reason.
Can I give you truth serum and get a real answer out of you about something, though, that happened in December?
What's up?
When Carson got injured, did you have doubts?
I would say
I don't think you'd be you did.
Yeah, exactly. Like we did. There was a conversations that were shared, of course, about we just lost an MVP quarterback, right? Like he was up and running.
No knock on Nick.
And how is that going to impact the remaining part of the season? We're fighting for a number 1 seed, and of course, we're getting ready to go into the playoffs. But Nick Foles stepped in, man, and he told us, I got it, and he held it down. That's why he got the statue. He held it down. He held it down, man. He played lights out. Like to go against arguably probably the best quarterback in football and go toe to toe, put up the numbers that he did on that stage, man, is incredible.
Where's your ring?
And at home.
In a
safe place.
How often does he look at it, Erica?
Not as often as he probably should, but he wears it for special occasions. He'll bring it out.
Yeah. So special occasion.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yes.
I mean, but the idea is I'd wear it like like on the turbans where the guy has a big jewel. I'd be walking around. I'd have it attached to my forehead. It means so much here.
Yeah.
You get that though, right? I mean,
I do.
You get it. You play it here. You understand it.
It's just not an everyday accessory.
Yeah.
No, he can't be an everyday.
Nah. The moment's too special.
Jamie'd roll into the Wawa.
Oh, yeah.
And order his shorty with it.
I'd be like punching the screen with it. Like,
yeah, he'd be like, look at that.
I don't know if you guys noticed, this is an Eagles Super Bowl ring.
Is it you've played now you've gotten a little taste of playing in some different places.
Mm-hmm.
You understand how different it is here, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I recognize that. I think I understood that coming from St. Louis and making the transition to Philly. That was obvious. Like where I was, I would say the history behind the organization, the city, the fans, they sleep, breathe, eat, football here. Sports in general, they're behind you. And I think that's what I love most about my time here. It's just the love and passion that this city possesses for its team, but also understanding who you represent when you put on that Eagles uniform, the guys that have come before you, and those guys still come around. And so it was nothing shy of incredible, and man, it's a special place to play.
Obviously, you haven't played with Jalen Hurts, and you're still in the league, so he's technically competition. And
I did. I played with Jay.
That's right.
21.
You guys, okay,
yes,
21 and 2020.
So, are you not surprised by his success at all? Because everybody that encounters this guy is just kind of like wowed by him.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Because the work ethic was there from day one. That's always been a part of his DNA, right? Like first guy in, last guy to leave, doing above and beyond what's required and asked of him. Things that you don't naturally see from the quarterback position. I mean, you looking at him and you seen the video, 600 pounds squatting in college, like what?
Working out in Lane Johnson's barn.
Exactly. And so he's a special breed. And it's really just because of his commitment to his craft, what's allowed him to be here today, his faith, his continued belief in himself. And you can see how he's able to really rally the troops and be a leader amongst men, which is hard to do at this level.
Now, you're talking about Jalen Hurts from Jamie's question. And here's Erica over here going,
yeah,
How much are you into the football? I mean, is as big an obsession when you're in a football family.
Oh yeah, football is something I eat, sleep, and breathe. I'm one of the few that go to every game for the season and cheer like a lunatic. And just transitioning from teams, I'm still cheering like a lunatic, and everyone's staring because they're not used to what that felt like in the link. I mean, we cheered, we bumped shoulders with other fans, and we're like, why are we yelling at each other? We're cheering for the same team. It's different in other cities. So it's something that I really embrace. Rod shows me film every once in a while. So, I'm pretty geared up for the next meeting, for OTAs being over and stuff like that.
You are going to have, by the way, that's a great fan base in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You're not going to a chump fan base.
Yeah.
That is they take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Very passionate, very generational. I think you're going to love it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I heard, the same exact thing. So we're going to see if they can go toe to toe with all the Birds fans out there. But I'm really looking forward to that dog pound this year. And I actually get to come back to Philly for training camp.
Yeah.
There's a joint practice in the preseason game. So really looking forward to that. I got that circle instantly. When I found out and already started talking a little trash in some of my group messages. So looking forward to that.
Erica, tell us a little bit about Change Our Future Foundation, because that is a very broad message. So what is the mission of Change Our Future Foundation?
Yeah, so Rodney and I started Change Our Future in April of 2020. It was in the midst of the pandemic, but it was really based on the need at the time. And then Rodney and I really honed down on developing programs and experiences for our underserved community, for our students, to make sure that they can see outside their neighborhood. They can see people that look just like them, and we can create programs and community empowerment, health and wellness, educational programs, mentorship. How can we really get down and dirty in the community to really bring students along with us to find careers and passions in careers once they leave school, get them excited about STEM. And it's taken us to so many realms where we've met incredible students that are so passionate, but they just need that extra boost. They need someone to pull them along, to, voice their opinions to. And it's been incredible since then.
How did, this mission about it being sort of almost education oriented and things like that, and then you start talking about STEM. I get, my daughter's now in college. I'm like, okay, I don't have to hear about that stuff anymore. It's obviously something you guys are passionate about.
Yes. Yeah. No, it started, Rodney and I both went to the University of Virginia and had two very different paths on getting
Smart
there.
kids.
Yeah. So I went on the educational track to UVA. Rod obviously played football. And he had the educational
Been
track.
honest.
Yeah.
He was one of the smart jocks, though.
Yeah.
The smart jocks.
The smart jocks.
Are you a Damascus?
Is that one
guy?
table?
Yeah, well, we have to, yeah.
Is that one table?
Yeah, there's only usually a
Brian
couple of them.
Westbrook went there. It's a
know
good
it.
school.
Yeah.
Legend.
Brian Westbrook.
Went to Damascus.
talking to
I know
It's
that.
high school.
I was going to say, because he
Same
went
high
to
schools.
Villanova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So they got smart jocks at Damascus.
There you go.
Yeah, no, we both went to UVA, and then we had this passion for youth once we came here, especially working in the community in Philly, and how incredible everyone has sort of embraced us since Rod's been on the team. We figured it was our niche. How do we create? Rod started a Next Man Up youth men's mentorship program, which was incredible. 17 youth men at Parkway Northwest, really instilling some of the biggest topics that are affecting a lot of our Black boys, and just bringing them along with financial literacy, which is so important, right? So bringing these figures into the room for them. We do a youth leadership summit, just encouraging them, through affirmations, just self-esteem, confidence. How do we build you up so that you can be a leader in your classroom, outside in the real world, and what does that career look like?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My wife's a city educator. And,
Oh, yeah.
And any supplemental help that these kids can get, I hear the war stories and
Oh, yeah.
how
Pat-
so it's great stuff you're doing.
Pat and Jamie, both of our guys in the show, both of their wives, educators.
Wow.
Abbott
In the
Elementary
city.
is very
Abbott
real.
Elementary.
Yeah.
They both,
You guys watch it?
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah.
and they both relate to it
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
It shows you, though, doesn't it, that even though you guys have departed, you're still Philadelphians, and you will always be. It all relates back to that championship.
Yeah, no, it does. Everybody who comes
seriously.
across me, when they see me, they think instantly Philly. Like
Yes.
it happened this weekend. I'm back home.
You're a champion.
Walking in the hotel, and they're like, Rodney McLeod, like Eagles. Like, I remember, man, big fan. Like, so it just shows you, how many people, man, just care about Philly, but bleed green. Like it's everywhere.
This Thursday, June 22nd, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
8 to 12 p.m. at V. It's V, right?
Yes.
Or is it Vi?
8 to
It's
12 a.m.
Oh, it's 12 a.m. I should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Don't show up early with your coffee.
This is going to be. Tell us about where it's located. What's going on? Give us any details you can.
Yeah, so Sneaker Ball, 3rd annual Sneaker Ball.
So are you two sneaker heads? Is that how this?
So I brought Erica along.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought her along.
Dude,
and,
we already
she
know
actually
she was the smart one. She already told us. So don't act like you're bringing her along anyway.
No, she already had a good sense of fashion.
Oh,
She's
good.
from New York. It's more she
There we
wasn't
go.
a part of like that sneaker community.
It's a whole world.
I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed.
And so now,
Parents went into it.
you know what I'm saying? I got her. Like we were just at Nike this past weekend, and I got 3 pair for the season. I got this, got some Blazers. So
Gotta get
she's
the
in it
Browns
now.
colors.
It is though the colors are off.
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. But I look pretty good at orange.
I bet you, Eric, I think you can sort of balance out, even ugly Cleveland Browns brown.
Yeah.
I mean, you could find a way to balance that out. Rodney, I'm not sure you're pulling it off.
Oh
I'm
man.
not sure you're getting in trouble. Because you're the enemy now. When you retire, we would love to have you back and be very kind to you.
Yeah.
But now you're the enemy.
Okay.
There's a chance. There's a chance Cleveland could end up in our path out in Vegas.
Well, yeah, we're gonna meet at
In
the
February?
yeah, we meeting at the top.
What's your
Top of
crown
the
jewel?
mountain.
What's your crown jewel of sneakers? Like, what's the one that you have that you won't sell for anything?
Oh man, I love my Travis Scotts, the ones like those. They're just the ones in general are just classics. But then once Travis Scott, that was his first sneaker that he came out with. So I think that's very special. I'm a Travis Scott fan.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Do you get his McDonald's order?
Man, I actually purchased some McDonald's apparel right when he did the collaboration. Didn't buy
I
anything,
thought that was
but
the
I did the apparel.
strangest thing in the world.
Yeah, but people love
But
it.
No, it worked.
People love it.
It worked.
Yeah. I
It
got the
worked.
hat. I wear it. Like, oh man, where'd you get that from? Yeah, the shirts.
All right. Does he have his own closet?
Not his own closet, but his own shoe closet.
So he does
essentially.
have a shoe closet. Do you have a shoe closet?
I don't. I have a lot of shoes, but I feel like because my shoes are smaller, we can pack them in.
Who has more pairs of shoes? This could look
tough.
bad for you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, sneakerheads, I don't think it
Who has more
applies to.
pairs of shoes? This lovely woman or you?
That's kind of tough. I have a lot of shoes.
Oh, okay. That's the way it's supposed
yeah,
to be.
Yeah, but Rod has
The wife
of
is
shoes.
supposed to have more shoes than the husband.
But if you look at it at a glance, you'd think Rodney has surpassed me by like hundreds.
Yeah.
So,
But shoes for different occasions. Workout shoes. You got casual, everyday shoes. You have, all right, I'm going out. I got the sneaker ball collection.
Yeah.
How can people still attend?
yeah, you
on
can
Thursday?
attend.
Okay, how would they get information on this?
So you can go onto changeourfuture.org to still purchase your tickets. We actually have a code for you guys if
Oh,
you
sweet.
are
Oh, there we go.
listening. It's SBFan23. So you can still purchase your tickets today and visit us on Change Our Future Fund just to learn a little bit more about what we're doing, how you can be a part, donate, volunteer, all of the above.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are still doing great work, and you're still one of us.
Hey.
Except September 11th through Super Bowl, as you just predicted.
Yeah.
Then you're not. You realize that.
It's okay.
We're going to clown you. If that whole week.
I'm sure he's very intimidated by you.
Pat, we will do topics on how is the Eagles offense going to attempt to exploit Rodney
No,
McLeod.
don't throw me into this, dude. No,
Hey, look,
I'm not doing any
If it
topics.
comes down to that, we're going after you.
I played
Now,
I played
we'll
last
see
year
you out
in
in
Indy.
Vegas.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yep.
yeah, Jalen saved
You
the
look
day.
good.
He saved the day. Yeah,
look
I
good
came to
out
play.
there.
I came to play.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Zaire Franklin, same high school, and he had a hell of a game that game.
He did.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
hell of a game.
No, it was
That was a battle.
That was maybe the
surprise,
of
right?
the team that the games the Eagles won. That was the one that they pulled out the most, probably in the regular season.
Probably.
They barely pulled it out.
There it was.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Hey, great job, Rodney, Erica. We're so glad to meet you today.
Yes.
Nice to meet
Everybody
you
be a
guys
part
as
of
well.
it. Good to have you in.
Appreciate you having
All
us.
right, we got a lot going on. Be a part of their great charity. You want to be part of it there, the Change Our Future Foundation. Make sure you make time for it. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. If you
The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Welcome back into the John Kincade Show. I am not John Kincade. I'm Jamie Lynch, but we were just talking with Rodney and his wife out there. What great people. Really great foundation. If you can support it in any way, please do so because, that kind of hit home with me a little bit, having a wife, that's an educator in the city and seeing some of the problems. Yeah. Any supplemental help that these kids can get is
That's
tremendous.
Amazing. It's a great cause.
And they clearly are very passionate about it.
Yeah, it really is crazy when you talk to educators in the city how true to life Abbott Elementary is. We joke about it, but it's
okay.
like,
What do your brides tell you is most
that the staff
believable?
The staff is like that.
Like the staff is overwhelmed.
They truly care, but they're so underfunded.
Yes.
That they have to make do with things that are so outdated.
Yeah,
that it's like, why do you do it? Because I love to do it.
And some of the parents' depictions are accurate.
Yeah.
Some of the kid depictions are extremely accurate. She just said her and her staff all love it at the school.
I love the. That's a great show.
It is really.
Yeah.
She's really talented.
I think it's a great show.
This is like an event for Ty.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Tyrone.
Well, wait, Tyrone and Hunter.
Yeah, they both are big
The two
sneakerheads.
of them are just.
I went through some sneaker therapy after the Sixers lost. I did.
What'd you do?
I think I spent like a paycheck on.
You had a baby on the way.
Yeah, well, the Sixers lost, and I needed to feel better about myself.
Now, are these sneakers you're actually going to wear, or are they just going to look pretty in a box?
I did have Jack ask, Daddy, when are you ever going to wear those? I said, I don't know, Jack. I'm checking weather reports and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know.
Here's what I would figure, Pat, is that at this point, and I ask you, and this is, Pat, this could be like a little intervention thing.
Yeah.
At what point, the great Maya Angelou,
I've heard of her.
one of the greatest scribes ever in the history of the world.
I believe she was the first female trolley car conductor in San Francisco.
Really?
There you go.
I did not know that. See?
Drop that knowledge on you.
Maya Angelou
You're welcome.
says one of her greatest pieces, when someone shows you who they are,
Believe them.
believe them.
Okay. So what are you trying to say?
How did you get fooled again?
Oh, by the Sixers? I wasn't necessarily fooled. It was more of a...
It was different.
It was different. Like, I didn't think that they were going to win the series.
You didn't, I know.
Until they went up 3-2.
And then I thought they would too.
And then it's the way that you lose
At
game 6
home.
and 7. Yes.
Gutless.
And game 6, you lose at home. And game 7, you don't even show up. I mean, you caught the early flight home from San Diego, and a couple of nude people pop out of your bathroom like a magic show. And yeah, it's like that. That is what annoyed me. I can accept you lose a series when I watch how you lose the series the way they did. I mean, I was in a dark place. It took me like a month to get back. So it's taken me about a month to get back. So I needed to feel better.
The birth of your child made you feel better? Your second child?
Yeah, the fact that they won that game the day that he arrived, that was cool. Sir Anthony closing it down in the 8th inning, and then Kimbrel coming in the 9th.
If Keith Pompey's gut here is right,
don't even tell
and
me.
Harden
I'm
returns
doing that tomorrow
on a 2-year deal,
though.
how are you going to feel about it?
And I'll tell you about that tomorrow.
No, I swear to you, is that, are we going to, I'm just going to, and we'll get into all this tomorrow, but are we doing this again? We're just going to bluff ourselves into thinking that
No.
Harden.
So that's the thing. I won't be like last year.
I don't think there's a better option.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is that there's not a better option,
so
but I will not
inflexible.
be. I will be fully in the camp of wake me up when they get out of the second round next year. I'm not going to be fooled into
So you're
being
not gonna
amazed by
allow-
an MVP type season from Joel Embiid. I'm going to be very apoplectic when it comes to next regular season.
So my man Andrew Saltunas,
I've heard of him.
who talented broadcaster, Anthony Gargano, who is
good.
His fingers on the pulse of a community. I am not going to be lectured by them next year. Just enjoy the ride. It's a novel. Dude, I've already read the last freaking chapter of the novel. I know what Harden is. And if they recommit to Harden, we know the ending. We know that he doesn't care enough.
I don't think he doesn't
Oh,
care.
come on.
I think that's unfair to say he doesn't care.
You see that
just think he
freaking
played
body
poorly.
language?
I think he played poorly.
Played gutlessly, though.
Yeah, he played really bad. I know.
And I understand the frustration.
I mean, seriously,
in
we're
terms
going
of next season,
But we're gonna do. I was so saying, please tell me we're not doing this again.
Yeah, it'll be very melancholy.
But
tell me we're trying something different. Tell me we're not going to try to bluff the fans.
That's the thing. What difference can they?
They're
do?
only left with $12.2 million, which isn't going to get you into a championship caliber.
Like they're at a point where they're damned if they do and damned if they don't.
So when you know,
don't, you're not. There's nothing that they can do right now to make you feel better.
No. There
outside
is.
of
what
For me, absolutely.
You want to do that tomorrow?
Make me not have to watch James Harden again.
Okay, but then you're watching somebody else play point that is worse than James Harden.
No, someone will be worse than James Harden, but I promise you that if this team, and by the way, I watched Miami play for the title, so I don't need to hear that, well, if you get rid of James Harden, you're not going anywhere. BS.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they're not going anywhere if they get rid of James Harden.
Well,
it's not BS. I think it's fact.
It's ridiculous when you see Miami's roster.
Okay, but they're not Miami. Like that. I mean, they're not even close. Miami develops.
They do.
The Sixers don't develop anybody.
And maybe there could be some, we don't know under Nick Nurse what develops.
They don't, but I mean, Nick Nurse isn't Ann Sullivan. He's not a miracle worker. It's not going to happen overnight.
I've been to her, the museum.
I mean, Eric Spoelstra.
In Alabama.
Eric Spoelstra was all he does is roll the ball out for the first 4 years of his coaching career. So I think the idea that Nick Nurse is going to come in all of a sudden is going to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We have a bench and we've developed everybody. And it's going to take time for that to happen.
Well, it could be. But one thing I do know is that he ain't changing James Harden. He's not making.
I tend to agree with you.
He's not making James Harden anything. James Harden's going to get paid because James Harden woke up Christmas Day and said, you know what? We're having a pretty good season. But I'm going to leak something to Woj's camp in order to create some sort of discord so I can make sure that my bag's handled at the end of the year. That was his Christmas morning.
I'd argue that he was going to get paid no matter what. Christmas Day report or not.
Yeah, but that's what that's what he decided to do. He didn't need to do that.
We don't know that. Like you assume that. I don't know. But you assume that it was James Harden. It could have been somebody from Houston. It could have been somebody from their front office.
But Houston's not.
It could have been somebody from Houston's front office that's trying to get one in on Daryl Morey, who they've had a grudge against since he left.
But Pat, when you realize that the Houston Rockets aren't panting to get James Harden, this has been the biggest shell game ever.
Yeah.
They're not panning, like they're not battling right now with the Sixers to get James Harden.
But if you were them and you put this rumor out there, you're making Daryl Morey sweat. My point is they're getting one over on the guy that they're a jilted lover. They're getting one over on Daryl Morey, who left them. He's the guy that they wouldn't trade James Harden to under any circumstance because they were so upset about how Daryl Morey left the organization. I
don't believe Christmas Day, when the Sixers are the prime game, I think it's exactly, I've got center stage, everybody talk about me.
Possibly. But I go back to James Harden's getting paid by somebody no matter what.
Yeah, he's going to get paid by somebody.
Like I don't think he needs to drum up a bidding war because he's James Harden and it's a bad market.
Well, right now his stock is less.
I mean, he's at the top of the free agent class, more or less.
How many teams are in the mix for him?
Apparently just Houston and Philly.
Yeah, but how many teams have cap space?
And go read the Houston press. Many of them think this is a smokescreen,
which is amazing,
or that they're not willing to. They're willing to go to a certain point with James Harden and nothing beyond it.
I mean, 3 months ago, the same Houston press was saying it's done, and we're hearing whispers that he's coming back.
They were hearing it, but they were hearing it from his camp.
I can't trust the Houston media that when 3 months ago they flip flopped.
But they're hearing it from their camp.
Apparently,
they're not dying to. They're hearing it from Harden's camp.
You're trusting the messenger, who's on everything. I can't trust them. I don't know them.
If James Harden was such a talent and such still an asset worth fighting for, there would be teams doing whatever they had to do to be able to try to get him. Move their roster, manipulate their roster, whatever they had to do. There's not two teams that have the ability to bring on a James Harden. But they're telling you everything we need to know about him is being told by this free agency.
Yeah, but everything we need to know is also that the Sixers don't have a lot of options.
Yes, he's got them over a barrel.
Oh, no doubt about it. But you also kind of, in a weird way, need them. Because unless it's some, Daryl and Elton get extremely creative, the only other option to get a championship caliber player is some kind of sign and trade.
Is he one?
He's more one than not one.
He's not one.
I mean, he led the league in assists last year.
I don't care. James and Joel Embiid was an MVP.
Yeah, but
what do we know about them when the pressure's on and the games matter the most? We didn't get close. We didn't even get out of the second round again.
I mean, you game 7 of the second round.
11 teams have gotten out of the second round since the Sixers have in the East.
Yeah, I'm well aware of the painful history.
They did not get close to anything. No, they're close to getting out of the second round.
You need to be a top 6 or 7 team in the NBA to win a title.
To get close to a championship, you got to be a Final Four team. That's where you can even say, we played in the conference finals. They're not close to anything.
Yeah, they're extremely close to the conference finals.
Yeah, but they're not. You got to get there. Then you're close to it. You're not. They haven't gotten. They wet their pants.
But the tough reality is there's not a better option. I mean, other than that, it's giving it over to Tyrese Maxey and letting him run the point. And we can all be honest here: is Tyrese, Joel, and Tobias Harris enough to win a championship? No.
But this is kicking the can. Is all this is.
But it's kind of your only option.
But yeah, it's your best option if you think you want to win.
I'm not pumped about it, but if it's
I got you.
If it's 2 years,
and I know you're not. I know you guys aren't saying that it's.
But if it's only 2 years,
this guarantees that it
makes it palatable. If it becomes a 3 or 4 year deal, I want to puke in my mouth. If it's 2 years, I go, okay, so you're giving it the 1 year, another run at it, and then it's an expiring contract. Maybe you can move on from it if you need to. Yada, whatever. 2 years, I can completely deal with.
I gotta be honest, James Harden is not the ire of my Sixers frustration right now.
Is it
Tobias
Joel?
Harris. No,
it's
Tobias Harris. I want that dude gone. I'm so tired of him.
Yeah, I think you need to move on and get 2 role players.
I can't deal with another year of Tobias Harris accepting being the 4th role when it's obvious in some games that Joel Embiid or James Harden don't have it and Tyrese Maxey's off. This dude continues to be the 4th role and doesn't just go, all right, you know what? I'm going to step up. And when you fail to take a shot in the second half of a playoff game because you're, quote, the 4th guy, yeah, I'm done. It has nothing to do with the pay.
No, I get you.
I'm done.
Well, what do you say, though, about...
That dude is just a passenger.
Okay, well, what do you say about how Embiid and Harden played?
That's the thing. They're the number 1 and 2 option, and when they play
they were
crap,
passengers.
That's the thing. When they have bad games, I need Tobias Harris to step up.
When neither one of them will shoot the freaking basketball.
Yeah,
they're passengers, and they're the guys.
It's not a good excuse, okay? And it's as annoying as hearing they haven't gotten out of the second round. Joel Embiid was injured, and James Harden might have been dealing with something because you remember the Achilles thing or whatever. They said, or the calf, that they said that was going to linger for the entire season after he came back from it. That's a horrible excuse that everyone's tired of, and I get it, but I'm not saying I'm giving them a pass because I'm not. If they don't have it in a game, though, I need the 4th option to step up, and he never did.
Can I say that it sounds like it?
It does. I'm tired of it. Feels gross coming out of my mouth, but it's just the reality of the situation. You had 2, at least you had 1 we know of injured player. And the other one, I don't know if he was injured or not. He seemed to struggle in back-to-back games.
The reality is, Joel, it all comes down to Joel Embiid. He needs to be better. And maybe he needs to be healthy, but he needs to win you these tough series.
He does.
That's just what it comes down to. I'm almost at the point where, I don't even care about the surrounding cast to a degree. I just need him to get to that level that he needs to in the playoffs.
I ask all of you out there in the audience, is that MVP award keeping you warm at night?
No, I don't think anybody cares.
Everybody
I'm
was
happy for him.
This entire fan base was obsessed with it.
Because a lot of people bet it.
I did. And I did. And believe me, that's why I was interested in it. But they were obsessed with it. Joel deserves this.
Yeah.
He's got it. Okay. And then you get it, and then you regress.
I mean, I hate saying it, he was injured. Okay. He's got a serious knee injury.
I mean, Jokic won it 2 years in a row and had the same results as Embiid.
Is that surgery coming?
I don't know.
Or is it another year where we heard about the serious knee injury?
Was that an injury that required surgery? It was supposed to be.
Remember, he was supposed to have surgery after the Hawks series.
I'm not talking about that. We all know that story.
I know.
I'm talking this injury, this particular one that he suffered.
When I hear about,
I was under the impression it
might not be. You're correct. You are correct.
Point. I think it was a 4 to 6 week injury that you just rest on, and then the fact that he came back after 2 weeks was somewhat impressive. But
It's something that Jim Lynam talked about with us when he came in for First Friday. The guy's production dips anytime in the playoffs, but it's mostly because of the fact he's dealing with serious injuries, whether it be broken face, ligaments, torn thumbs. It's crazy how much this guy is injured when it comes to the second round of the playoffs.
But they keep doubling down and saying, but next year will be different.
Well, because after a while, it's like, how often can this guy honestly be injured? And it turns out every damn year.
Every time.
But it's freak injuries.
But every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way
sucks.
It goes. Stop flopping around, too. It would help.
It's not great.
Hey, this 4th of July, the Rockets' red glare and the bombs are bursting in air. It's all brought to you by Backyards Across America, by Phantom Fireworks. Visit fireworks.com for a location near you. Will you get the girls some fireworks? Get them some fireworks?
No, but I'll take them to fireworks. My cousin down in Longport does one around the 4th of July every year. That's pretty awesome. So I'll take them to that. I'll take them to Citizens Bank Park for some fireworks, maybe. I'll go to the local parks, but no, I'm not going to do any. It sounds dangerous.
Now,
Coach, you taking Cam to see any fireworks?
The Union fireworks?
We're not real big fireworks guys.
What do you do on the weekends?
Yeah, actually,
they go to Lancaster, and look what happened this weekend.
That's
Coach.
correct. Congratulations is probably in order for Cameron's Union team, his U11 team.
They were bloodbathing people.
Yeah, so we spent Father's Day weekend in Lancaster, which is beautiful, but I'm glad to be back here, not cure for boredom out there. So they have
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they have the MAC Cup, which is the Mid-Atlantic Cup soccer tournaments, and Cameron's U11 Union team won the MAC Cup.
Wow, that's excellent
Which
stuff.
was tremendous. It was not only did they win it, so there were 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. The total goals against for his team for all 4 games, 4 goals against. They gave up 1 goal each game. Goals 4 in all 4 games, 32.
Wow.
I heard they beat the one goalie so bad that he's repeating the 3rd grade.
Poor kid.
Yeah, so congratulations to Cam's team.
That's great.
Winning that Mid-Atlantic Cup and everything. It was really a cool thing to do, especially on Father's Day. And they had just lost that same team 2 weeks ago in Lancaster. And it was really funny to hear these 11-year-old kids say, before yesterday's final, we're not losing this. And they're 11. And it was real cool to hear them say that. So
they did the "We Ain't Losing," and they actually won.
Yeah,
but they actually won.
Wow.
Yeah, they came out
won the NL.
They won.
The crazier
so
thing,
they can use that next year or next tournament because they
How do you
actually
turn this
won.
into ripping the Phillies? Let the man enjoy his son winning a damn tournament.
No, his son's a winner there. It's great.
Is it true that you started the Instagram account Baby Messi after the baby Gronk kid? And you're trying to capitalize on this?
No. So
he's taking some college tours already, college visits.
Yeah, they're getting scouted by some colleges, even at 11 years old, which is kind of scary. Congratulations! Yeah, they are. It's true.
What?
Well, I mean, look, they gotta find these kids young.
No, are they seriously commit? Like they can't be.
No,
really,
no.
They can't officially be offered.
No, but I've been told by a couple of the different coaches that there are college scouts out there that come to these big tournaments and everything, and they have their clipboards and they're looking and asking questions already. It's pretty scary.
Incredible.
Yep.
That's incredible for that one. Great time though. Great being up in Lancaster. Do you feel closer to your roots?
No, didn't. But you know what's really cool up there? They have sod farms up there, and those farms are incredible looking. I mean, they're just growing grass.
I bought a bunch of sod this year.
I don't want to really hear sod after this past February, but go ahead.
Sod time.
But I mean, obviously up in Lancaster with the Amish and lots of farms and everything, as we're driving through one of the towns to get to where the fields were, just everywhere you look, sod farms. I don't know, it looked cool. You just put some lines down on there and
by the
kick
way,
it
it's
off.
great, and it's great sod. And great work there.
Yeah, my sod's doing great this year.
It is?
Yeah. Growing grass is a little tough.
That's awesome.
The sod for the big areas, I just went with that to dummy proof it.
Dummy proof it up?
Yeah, but I enjoy a good piece of sod.
I just hear sod now, and I get
think
infuriated.
I think of it too. I think of the sod.
I can't help but
That
not get
scumbag
infuriated.
rat.
Yeah. What was
By
his
the
name?
way,
George Toma.
Toma. But remember,
Rat.
He rot.
Ed Mangan, who is actually the guy who had to consult, who had to do the work. He just had to work with Toma. Ed Mangan, head of the grounds crew at Truist Park. He's a Brave. So there's some of that crap going on too.
Rats, all of them.
There was. It was all over the place. A little bit. Can I ask you this? Is there any chance that we are just assuming there's no chance that Jalen Hurts could take a step back this year?
I've thought about it. I mean, he was
And I'm not talking about taking a step back to where he's a terrible he's Daniel Jones. But where he takes where every statistical category is not as good.
He was so good last year.
He was amazing.
That it's natural to think he could take a step back. Absolutely.
But
I think it's only natural to have that thought. But I mean, the question is, will he take a step back enough where it hinders the team? You know, like what did he throw for last year?
6 interceptions.
How many
which is
touchdowns?
incredible.
How many total touchdowns?
He accounted for 30-something touchdowns, 36.
Okay, I want to say he had like 23 throwing, 22 throwing. I think he had 10 on the ground.
Yeah, like 30-something.
Like 32, maybe.
If you go from 32 to 27, 28, but the team is still winning 14 games, yeah, okay, he took a step back, but did he really? You know?
I think
statistically, yes, he did.
When I give the illusion of step back, it has to be a step back where he does some uncharacteristically things that he didn't do last year.
Yeah, the concern for me is to be one of the top 5 guys in the league, which is now his goal.
I think it should be expected.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting paid like it. You don't have, like, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrows of the world,
right.
Allen, they don't really have step backs.
And they don't regress. Right.
Yeah. So,
and I believe, look, Rodney was nodding his head. He doesn't think there's going to be anything but this new level for him.
This guy must be hell of impressive because even was it Erica? Erica was kind of like, yeah, no, the guy's impressive. You know, like when Rodney was talking about Jalen, she was like, oh no, yeah, like that's real. Like he impresses people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's
ours.
He's ours. Let's just hope that.
And you
step
gave
back
up
doesn't
on
happen.
him early, but you came back.
Yeah, that's all right. I invited him to throw Rotten Tomatoes at me if he wants.
You could.
I'll join you in that.
You could. Maybe at Fan Fest.
I should have.
Coach, could we arrange that at Fan Fest? Rotten Tomatoes?
A Rotten Tomato throwing thing?
Yeah.
At Pat and Jamie, who both throw in the towel on Jalen Hurts.
This is a test or a lesson to me to just trust my gut.
In the history that we've done this show, besides that video that Pat forced me to do about the Hawks series.
Why would you do that, Pat?
Other than that,
don't know, James.
Other than that, that's the worst thing that's been the worst call has ever been done. The chance to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
But that choke job against the
But that's why
Hawks.
last year was so impressive because he was nowhere near that the year prior.
And nobody saw it coming.
Nobody
can act like they saw it coming.
Yeah, I mean, to take that meteoric step that he took
in one offseason is amazing.
That was my thing. A year ago now, I think you can probably check the tape. No one will. But I was saying, I expect him to take a step up.
Where do they check the tape if someone wanted to check it?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about radio is you say check the tape and everyone just
you can
assumes.
Go back.
You can, but nobody does. It's great. You can pretty much say check the tape on anything. But if you went back a year ago, I was saying, I expect him to take a step up, but I don't think it's going to be enough where he's going to be the guy.
No.
And my God, he took a step up and then somewhere. It's like he's the guy in the league.
Well,
arguably.
Mean, if you believe that Russell Wilson story, the Eagles had doubts.
Yeah, they were.
If he was going to take that step up. So I mean,
what a big dodge bullet that was.
Oh, I did it a couple weeks ago. I think you were out. What the actual trade would have ended up being? Oh my God, that's like the greatest non-trade that had never happened.
We did it on Saturday, and it's pretty
and they
wild.
wanted him. Get the details of that for those who may have missed it.
I'll find it. Yeah.
9 a.m. hour of the John Kincade Show is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's, and for details, go to Bagster.com. This guy said, I'm not worthy. Would you? John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. I love Bet Parks. I love that they're an official betting operator of the PGA. your score?
Didn't happen often.
Not enough.
Well, until Kovalchuk showed up and Heatley.
Yes. And Heatley.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Heatley's dad tried to kill me.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him.
No,
After
you
knowing you for 2.5 years, I'm on his side. Initially I was on your side, but
And then you said, now I know him.
yeah.
Mr. Heatley. I would not use the word accident to ever refer to what happened with Danny Heatley and Dan Snyder in the car accident. I don't consider doing 83 and a 35 an accident.
No.
You go 83 and a 35, lose control, and you kill somebody, that's not an accident. An accident is I glance down at my phone, your phone rings, you glance down, you look up, and you hit somebody by accident. That's an accident. 83 and a 35. So, and then they let Danny Heatley they let him off with a slap on the freaking wrist, and then they let him do he goes, I can't live here anymore. I can't live here anymore. Can't handle it. It's too many bad memories. So they trade him to Ottawa. And they let him do his community service in Ottawa. And I literally pushed with the DA and everything and go, why is he being allowed to do his community service in Canada?
In a community that
in another country.
He didn't affect.
Well, then his dad took offense to that. But then they showed up on a New Year's Day. We played New Year's Day like a midday, like an afternoon game. And his dad's there. And I'm on the TV and I'm doing a little stand-up. And I'm doing a stand-up about the fact that he's returned and everything like that. And his father starts to yell at me as I'm live on TV. And then to be detained. And I said, don't hold him. When we get done, I said, don't hold him back. I said, I have high school to pay for.
Yeah.
I said, if he'd like to come get me, don't hold him. Because the security guard's holding him. I'm like, don't hold him back.
Yeah.
I said, if Billy Badass wants to come over, I said, I got stuff to pay for, so bring it on. He was how can you not say that was an accident? I said, do you need an explanation, sir?
Yeah.
He's a jerk. Absolute jerk. Hey, injured in an accident from big to small? Call the law offices of Glenn S. Barry. Call 855-BARRY-LAW for the personal attention you deserve. You're going to pay nothing unless they recover money for you. Now, you and Pat were talking about this Russell Wilson trade out at Chickies in Malvern.
Yeah,
right?
this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. A guy online, Jake Rabati, basically translated what the Broncos gave the Seahawks to the equivalent of the Eagles. So had Russell Wilson not shot down the alleged Eagles trade report, this is what the Eagles would have had to have given up to get Russell Wilson. This would have set the franchise back, no lie, like a decade.
Okay, what it is.
So, in that trade would have been Jalen Hurts, Josh Sweat, number 15, number 19 of last year's draft, 2023 first, which ended up being Nolan Smith, and a 2025 second-round pick. Now, that would also mean no A.J. Brown, no Jordan Davis, and no Jalen Carter, as the Eagles wouldn't have traded with New Orleans in 2022. And A.J. Brown, obviously, the pick was used with Tennessee. So you would have given up Jalen Hurts, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, a future second, A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter.
That's so bad. Oh, my gosh.
That is the greatest non-trade to ever happen.
Now, here's one where I can say sometimes you're on the wrong side of history, right? I did not want Russell Wilson for nothing.
I didn't either. That guy stinks. I never once wanted that deal.
Jamie, you were the one that was pretty.
No, I believe I said if you go get Russell Wilson, you're a Super Bowl team.
Okay, because I was going to say, because I remember it differently, but thank you. Thank you for
I went very hard to the hole on that.
What about your boy Chunas? Was he pretty frothy for him too, wasn't he?
I
thought
don't
Chunas was pretty frothy for him.
I think he was.
I think he was a little frothy.
I was the frothiest.
I was a fan of the trade. I wasn't as nearly as frothy as you, but I thought if they got him, it'd be a match made in heaven.
I didn't like him.
I do think he'll bounce back better than he was last year.
The only reason I didn't like it is I've never heard of a player more disliked by his peers. And it's documented.
Some of the Broncos have come out in defense of him in that regard.
No, I'm talking about when he was in Seattle.
Yeah, because he wouldn't give people his cell phone number. He's a weird dude.
And he would not, like, he didn't socialize with his teammates. He'd come to work and leave. Didn't want to know. Guys were like guys would stop him. The Legion of Boom guys.
Yeah.
Would say, like he. Oh, well, we're at a function. I want to introduce you to my wife, and it is wait, and he'd bring like a person with him to be
handler.
a buffer.
Yeah.
To be a buffer for like a teammate to be able to introduce their spouse to him.
So just because you said the off the field thing, what did you make? And I'm kind of shifting gears here. What did you make of Doc Rivers' comments about Embiid?
Not socializing with his teammates?
Basically, yeah.
That he's a homebody, that he wants to go home and play video games, that he wants to go home and be a dad.
Yeah.
Which I think is in its own way admirable.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is, contrary to what he used to be before he became a
correct.
dad.
And I think it's admirable. Like as a father.
Do you think it's necessary as a teammate to have more?
Yep.
And because Doc's airing the laundry a little bit,
I think Doc was very, very complimentary, but I also think that at the end of every single compliment came a thing where don't blame me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He was patting himself on the back pretty hard there.
And I think that the idea, I would say to Doc, don't try to pat yourself on the back. Just state exactly what you said. And people are looking at it going, this isn't Doc Rivers. This is Harden and Embiid. And the fact that he talks about Harden the first half of the year and the second half of the year is a totally different player.
Yeah, they clearly had some beef, Doc and him.
And instead, this organization caters to James Harden.
But the Embiid off the court thing, I'm like, I get it. Like you said, he's clearly a homebody. But like, you really have to be told to make more of an effort with your teammates?
Here's where I was told. I was given a little more of an explanation on that because I thought the same thing. I was told, remember, this applies to home and on the road.
Yeah, if he's just going back to the hotel and his family's not there.
So on the road.
That's concerning a little
now
bit.
That is Pat Egan material.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have no problem with it.
That's Pat Egan.
He's getting some Cold Stone Creamery and just going back up to his room.
I got no problem with what he's doing.
That's Pat Egan or that's Gressman.
Yeah.
Like go back to your room, don't socialize, don't see anybody.
I'll go out to dinner.
Yeah, you did. You love Burns.
Yeah, I was good. I actually
they had a dessert.
You're looking forward to that again.
So I read something. I was reading something yesterday on The Athletic, and they mentioned Burns Steakhouse. And
well, you're going to be going. You're going to go in late September.
I'm looking forward to it.
I won't be joining you, but
yeah, you're right. If you're on the road and doing it, it's definitely more concerning to me.
Yes, and that's the thing is, I was said, why are you?
Because at home, you got family.
I texted somebody and they said, why are you assuming that comment's only about home? And I went, oh. That's the truth.
Because that's when they do the team bonding, like
you have to go
trips,
when you go on. You've got to do when you're on the road. You have to. There has to be some level of bonding with teammates from time to time.
Yeah,
not every trip.
Well, what Rodney said with us earlier, I asked him. He's been in 6 or 7 different locker rooms now. What was special about that team? And it was basically, it was special because we all held each other accountable and had a bond where you became selfless.
What did you think about David Freese? David Freese he had moments in that World Series that helped win and playoffs. He had a postseason to remember.
Yeah.
And he was nominated and elected to be on the Cardinals Wall of Fame. And he declined.
Yeah, so I only saw the headline.
And he wrote a nice letter.
Is it only because he thinks he doesn't belong?
He says he doesn't belong with the players that are on that.
Like the Stan Musials of
the
world.
He said, I do not belong with those people. He said, I greatly appreciate you. I love this fan base. I love the fact that I will forever be a part of St. Louis Cardinals history and lore, but I do not belong this honor. I do not deserve it, so I'm going to decline it. Because, look, Pat, I look at it as, I've said this many times, that when you look at the Phillies Wall of Fame, there's guys who don't belong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. David Freese grew up a Cardinals fan. He was a diehard Cardinals fan. So one of the things that he said was, I know how important this is, and I know what an honor it is, and I didn't earn it. I shouldn't be there with some of the guys that are on that list. I think it's admirable, and I don't think we see it enough. Honestly, the Cardinals came out. I think it's a little shocking to them, and they came out and said we'll find another way to honor him, which is great. But I would hope that some of his teammates would kind of push for him to do it. I think it's admirable that he did it, but it's not a Hall of Fame in any stretch. It's just a Wall of Fame. But I respect what he did.
because I agree with you, John. I think there's too many times where the Phillies announced their Wall of Fame inductee, and I go,
Ron
really?
Reed.
Really?
It's Ron Reed. And I'm not trying to take cheap shots here.
No, but
it's Ron Reed.
yeah,
it's Mike Lieberthal.
Yeah.
Lieberthal.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I mean, there's probably worse.
Wait a minute. Wait. If you're looking at the Wall of Fame for the Phillies, I'm even going to question. I've questioned it before. I'm questioning Roy Halladay. I think it's too short.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, so to me,
but that's why Lieberthal's on there because it was probably like 12 years.
Yeah, but that's
yeah, it was definitely 10.
But that's crazy though.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I have trouble when you have a Wall of Fame and Kurt Schilling isn't on it, but
Kurt Schilling's not there.
And I understand the whole Kurt Schilling.
I don't want to give Kurt Schilling a microphone.
Neither do I. I mean, but
he's one of the best big game pitchers
no, he
ever.
is. But I don't want to give him a microphone right now or give him the.
And he hit his stride with the Phillies. Like before this, he was an afterthought in Major League Baseball. Traded for Jason Grimsley.
He was once like the top pitching prospect in baseball, wasn't he?
Jason Grimsley, was he?
I think he was
a big high prospect.
But at the time when they traded him, he was just a relief pitcher.
Yeah, you're right.
And Kurt Schilling was a real find for the Phillies.
Yeah,
and developed under the Phillies to becoming that ace. Now, once again, I understand why they don't do it, but I have trouble getting up, I should say, for a Mike Lieberthal night.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not trying to. I just think there's worse than Lieberthal on there.
I'm trying to think of the last Phillies Wall of Fame guy that I was like, damn, that's awesome, and it's probably Bobby Abreu, because Bobby gets so much heat in this city that so many fans have revisionist history and forget that
he was
for the longest time he was the only reason to go to a Phillies game.
Yeah. Now my Wall of Fame knowledge is poor. Are Ryan, Chase, and Jimmy there yet?
They're not here. They're not there yet.
But they're going to be.
Yeah, they're obviously going to be. But what's the holdup?
I don't know. I think they might be just waiting for induction time, or I mean, they're getting to the point where they're aging out that '90s group, and they're getting into the 2000s. So they're probably there. I had a problem, and I tweeted about it that I think somebody recently had like a cup of coffee with the Phillies, and they were wearing 35, and the Phillies gave up 35 for I forget who it was, and last year they gave it up for Oscar Mercado, and I don't know. It just felt like gross to me that you're giving them up for like scrubs, and 35. I think of as Cole Hamels' number, and
I just don't even imagine. I think that there's a lot of. Yes, we have a weekend, and so we already have put it on the calendar that it's a weekend, and then we're going to
find somebody,
put somebody in.
Yeah.
I think that's for sure. I mean, they did the voting, and I think that they've done voting. And this is how little I care about the Wall of Fame, I guess. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure they do voting on it, though.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, David Freese got voted in.
So I just pulled up David Freese's career numbers. If I was David Freese, I'd say no, too.
Yeah, he should say no.
I kind of respect it.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of it.
Because his best season was 79 RBIs.
And I think that he had an amazing postseason.
Yeah, I think he was the World Series MVP.
He was.
And that's when he's voted in.
And honestly, he was Nick Foles for them.
Yeah, basically.
But I mean, now, on a baseball team, it's different.
Yeah. But I got what you're saying.
You never see this, and I think if he were not from the area, he would have
probably taken it. Yeah.
But because he grew up such a Cardinals fan,
that
he's like, I can't do this.
I don't belong up there with Stan Musial.
No, he doesn't.
And Albert Pujols.
Right, he doesn't. I mean, and so I admire it. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool move, actually.
Which is great.
And they'll honor him in some other way, and he'll get his time to make
they'll honor
speech.
him.
And,
they said maybe they'll do a bobblehead.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or something. Have a bobblehead night or something. Where they would do that.
You could do a ceremony and not have a Wall of Fame.
You could do a David Freese night or something.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to have you don't have to have a huge ceremony like where you're bringing around cars.
Throw out the first pitch and
exactly.
wave to the crowd, sing stuff, take me out to the ball game.
Meet fans on the weekend and everything. So, Mike Florio says, it's like a match game question. Mike Florio says, a pro athlete reportedly lost $8 million.
I have a great guess, but I'm not going to say it.
Last year on legalized sports gambling. First of all, I would say once again with Mike Florio, and I call him on this all the time, weird reporting. No names.
Well, he said the source called him and told him the name, and he said that it has a wow factor.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not telling anybody.
Well, there's legal ramifications of that, right? Like, what if he's not?
But then don't
right.
Then you don't report it.
Well, it's on the heels. I feel like I'm supporting Florio here, but it's on the heels of the league's policy changes because of a couple players.
Okay, I know professional athletes that have lost $8 million in a year on bad investments.
Mm-hmm.
On buying sneakers and cars and paying off women and stuff like that. So I don't even know that that's our business.
No.
Why is it their business how they lose their money?
Well, because they're athletes.
But they're not betting on their sport. This is legal.
Well,
they're
then-
allowed to bet on it.
Well, then release the name.
That's what I would say. That's why I questioned Florio.
I just assumed there was an element of betting on their own sport, and that's why it's secretive.
No. If it was betting on their own
because the
sport,
guy from the Bears was right, or what? Who was the guy that was just?
Well, there's a guy with the Colts that got nailed for it and everything.
and
like
that was football bets, right?
Yes. Where do you fall on that, Pat? I mean, I don't. First of all, you're like a player's money is not my business unless they make it my business. If they if they start I don't know if you saw Garth Brooks is screwed. He built a restaurant and bar in Nashville.
Okay.
That was just about to open. And then he did an interview when the whole Bud Light thing came out, and he goes, let's be honest, most beer drinkers are a-holes or something.
Really?
And now they've had to cancel the opening of his bar.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they'll delay it.
Because he's an idiot. No, he might sell it. He might sell it. I mean, he's such an idiot.
Why would you say that when you're about to open?
Most beer drinkers are a-holes. Well, Garth Brooks, we already know your history.
Well,
you're an a-hole. We already know you are.
Most people, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Do a little Google search on that. Yeah, he doesn't need to be throwing rocks.
He's Miley Cyrus's dad, right?
No, that's Billy Cyrus.
That's Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah. The country world is like... It's like Greek to me.
Don't play this game because I loathe country music and I'm sitting here knowing that fact.
Is he Achy Breaky Heart? Which one was
Yes.
he? Okay.
That's the only song he ever had.
Is that is he a one-hit wonder?
Yes. I mean, wait a minute.
I don't know
you just
country.
said Garth Brooks.
I knew it was Miley Cyrus's dad.
Miley Cyrus's dad.
Yeah, I knew
Okay,
country star.
This is kind of like when I thought T.J. Edwards was cousins with The Bachelor or something.
But I don't need to know. Players lose millions of dollars all the time doing stupid stuff.
I know, but is it wrong that I don't want to say I enjoy it because I don't want these people to lose money. But if I see a story about somebody losing money, I read it.
I want to know.
Yeah.
But if I was the player, man, I just lost all that money. Do you really need to put my name out there and make me feel worse?
Okay, you had a theory. You're right. Say allegedly, you had a theory.
Yeah, I have a guess of who it is.
Okay, take a guess. Come on, take a guess.
I don't want to say the name because
it's alleged. Just say no. You're taking a guess.
I think it's. There's a chance it's a long-time local person.
Are you talking about? You're not talking about a broadcaster, are you?
No.
Because I was thinking
player.
Charles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, again, I was just like,
well, that's very possible.
Again, you're just guessing on a story. You're just guessing on a story.
He's
Seriously?
Gonna be. Yeah, I don't know. I feel weird.
You're thinking about Lenny?
Rip Florio.
Are you thinking about Lenny? No, he doesn't have $8 million.
Well, I don't have this sort. Like, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, you're just guessing.
Well, you're just guessing, so you're not hurting anybody.
No one's listening.
I don't know. I feel weird about it.
Are you guessing Lenny? Because Lenny doesn't have $8 million.
No, not Lenny.
I could bet him.
There's somebody that is probably going to Canton. Played here a long time.
Played here, as in past tense?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I feel weird saying it. Even if it is a guess.
If they played here and they're not here now,
I still feel weird.
Why do you feel weird? Let's dive into this.
I don't get this.
You got a name, say it, coward.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like,
because it's not because like
he played there a long time?
Yeah.
Okay,
but like I could be completely wrong, and then somebody's going to hear it on the radio and be like, "Jamie Lynch is saying."
You're saying somebody.
I know, but
this is an instance though where you can literally do check the tape.
Yeah,
and
but I don't want to. I don't know.
No.
Sorry, I'm weird about.
Can you tell me a position? Because I literally have no idea.
Offensive line. We'll talk off air.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
it's a complete
really
guess.
like them.
It's a complete guess.
Well, wait a minute though.
I'm sorry to do this.
No. Now they said the one night, Pat, that he was going to bet a bunch of games, and he decided to sit out. The player that Jamie's talking about.
Was he? There was one night where he got mad at his old coach, maybe. And even though his quarterback was the most often injured quarterback in the league,
I know. I feel lame, but like
you're being lame. Look, it's not. You're not saying it's him.
His favorite movie happened to be one that Whitney Houston might have been in.
And two first names is always a red flag.
Yeah.
Two first names, always.
That's just a
Did he
guess.
play tight end? Did he play offensive line? Who's to say?
Just a guess.
And he wasn't there on Super Bowl Sunday.
That podcast that all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank on. I think it's not Jimmy Kempski. It's
McLean?
McLean, yeah, Jeff
Bird's
McLean's
Eye View?
I'll tell
Yes, Uncovering the Birds,
Uncovering the
which is really, really good.
My audio Emmy goes to Jeff McLean and Uncovering the Birds.
Well-
That is and I listened to a lot of different podcasts in parts.
Yeah.
He got me to listen to that entire thing. Spectacular job, Jeff McLean.
You know who produces it?
Who?
Brian
Our
Seltzer.
old buddy Brian Seltzer.
Oh my
That's-
gosh! Well,
so
I should have
shout out
known he
to
had
the
a
best-
mastermind behind it.
Shout out to the best voice in
Well,
the business,
that
Brian
was,
Seltzer.
That was fantastic.
But he did an interview, and I know you heard it, with Evan Mathis.
Oh my gosh!
And about basically how Evan Mathis went absolutely broke for a lot of his career from a gambling addiction. And
Really?
it was stuff about, it wasn't necessarily
He whooped my
sports.
ass in Words with Friends.
He whooped
What?
everybody.
How'd that
that
happen?
and Russell. You remember Russell?
I remember.
whoa,
I never
whoa.
got into that.
Is he one of those people in Words with Friends that sits there and Googles
I
words?
don't know. I think he's a pretty smart dude.
Yeah, like Russell was a game that you couldn't Google because it was timed, and he would whoop everybody's ass.
What is Ruzzle?
Is
it Words with Friends on timer?
It was a word game where they had a bunch of letters and you had to rearrange them and make other words, and you got points and stuff, and it was fun. But he would whoop that ass. But no, he said his big thing was card games. So he would go to casinos and he would get like huge markers, blow it, win some back. He would go across the street to another casino because he
Another
used-
marker?
Yeah, and it was like he was in it deep, and he got into it via like plane rides, playing with teammates and stuff. But he wasted a lot of money of his career on gambling. And it
yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
sports,
it's
but it
clearly
was-
a big problem, amongst athletes.
Yeah, because you have all this money for the first time, and you're like,
I mean, look at Calvin Ridley. He lost a year of his career.
Well, it's a bigger problem though with athletes. Far bigger. And if you watch that what's it called? Broke?
Oh, yeah.
Pat?
Broke, yeah.
Mark Brunell.
Buying cars,
Yep.
having 15 people who can able-bodied work instead don't work and be on your payroll.
Yeah.
That's the much bigger problem. Like when people are like, gambling, for these athletes, gambling's the big issue. No, it's not.
The other thing is bad financial advice and bad investments.
Correct.
Like really, Shaq just talked about it. I know you know the story, John, but Shaq talked about when he got into the hole early in his career, money-wise.
He didn't know what FICA was.
He had no idea what anything was, and his guy at the bank was like, dude, you need a financial advisor. And he interviewed all these people, and all these guys were, all right, we'll take your $50 million and we'll make it $150 million in 2 weeks. And he finally found a guy who was like, no, we're going to set you up with stocks and bonds and all that. And he's
set
loved
it up
them ever since.
And then that's the story too. If you don't know, Gronk then came to Shaq at some point and said,
teach me.
Can you tell me a little bit I want your career after football.
Yeah.
I want to be the football version of you.
Yeah.
And him and Gronk got to be buddies and got to be partners in the fun house. Those Gronk, the big Shaq's fun house and Gronk doing his parties. And Gronk is as smart as a whip.
He plays dumb.
Perfectly.
He plays dumb, but
So does Shaq.
He's never spent his paychecks. He lived off endorsements.
Marshawn Lynch was like that. He deposited every game check or.
Well, Marshawn Lynch is another one that I think likes to play dumb.
Yes, I
because
agree.
he's not dumb. He's not dumb.
No, clearly
he's a guy who knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's crafty.
he invests highly into the community too. His hometown community in Oakland.
He's an Oakland guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have pro sports to invest in.
No.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy. So the Phillies have an off day.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him.
A lot of golf today, right?
Yeah. So my wife took the girls up to the Poconos for 3 days. So
Really?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Wait a minute.
But it's gonna be awesome.
Is this a friend's cabin or
Skytop, the place we got married.
Okay.
With her and her mom. I'm taking the girls up later this summer. Her and her mom do a girls trip up there every summer too. So they're going up 3 days with cousin and aunt.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, it's great. So I have 3 days.
So what are you doing?
Probably gonna golf. I'm gonna watch some Marvel movies and stuff that I wouldn't normally watch with her.
Wow.
We're gonna finish
golf
Succession.
some more. Probably golf again after that.
See, that's great.
Yeah, so I got 3 days of
Funny,
just like bachelordom.
I asked Jamie if he wanted to hang out, and he just
How
never
can you be hanging out? You have a newborn.
never texted me back, and then he's got all this free time apparently, but he claimed he was busy. And it was one of those, John. It was one of those busies of like you can just tell
It's
the
a
person
vague
really
busy.
isn't busy. They just don't want to be in the same vicinity of you when they're not getting paid.
If it's Matt Menark also texted me yesterday, and I forgot to text stats back. So you're not alone, Pat.
It doesn't make me feel better.
I had a really nice bottle of bourbon yesterday, Blanton's. I hit the jackpot this week.
Joe Blanton's?
Yeah, so I had a couple tastings yesterday, and the phone wasn't on the top of my priority list.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Chunas had a good Father's Day.
Yeah.
He's bragging on that.
Yeah.
And he's getting ready to go on vacay.
He's going to Mexico, man. Woo. No kids at a resort. Oh, man, he's killing it.
I was supposed to go to a resort.
What do you
She
mean?
got pregnant. We did the down payment and everything, and then she got pregnant. Yeah.
Well, you got your money back.
We delayed it till next year.
Oh, you delayed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then T-Dog will take care of
I don't know. Hey, I don't know who's taking care of him.
Is T-Dog thrilled?
Is she in
love already?
All the grandparents are thrilled.
In love already?
Yeah,
That's
they've all
awesome.
seen him come over. And my dad, by the way, real MVP, because he came over. Jack had a T-ball game. And my dad lives far. My dad lives like an hour from us.
Right.
So I texted my dad, said, "Hey, why don't you come to Jack's T-ball game, and then you can come over and meet the baby, and that way you're not kind of wasting a trip just for one thing." So he did that, and he was there for maybe like 5 minutes, and he's like, "Hey, we're not going to overstay our welcome. We'll stay for like another 5 minutes, and we'll head out." And I was like, "Thank you," because it seems like too often the grandparents will be there for like an hour just staring at a baby. The baby's not doing anything. Baby's just kind of cuckooing and con. Like, you'll get plenty of this.
See, I swear I can't even imagine holding my grandchild.
Yeah, and my wife was like, your dad, thank
MVP,
God.
the real
Your dad's an MVP.
Because she was saying how her mom was there for like an hour and a half, and she was trying to be like, well, I'm getting tired, like
I'm gonna nap because the
need
baby's
some sleep.
napping.
Yeah, and her mom, bless her heart, wasn't picking up on the instance. Yeah. But she got a grandchild, so she's not really worried about her daughter. She's worried about the grandchild. Yeah,
I can imagine.
But yeah, so shout out to my dad, real MVP.
I'm not going to worry about Liv one bit.
Yeah, you don't care.
Once I get a baby,
Yeah.
someday when it's appropriate.
It's cool watching your parents become grandparents too.
Well, I know this.
Agreed,
I would say my favorite line with my mom was, "Who are you? I don't even recognize you." And
Because she doesn't have to worry about like tough love. It's just unconditional.
we went one
Baby
time.
love.
One time we're in Vegas, and her and Liv are hanging out at the hotel, and they were going to get room service for dinner. So they're getting room service. Dad's paying for it, whatever. So after we get back from being out in the night, we went out to dinner and a show or whatever, gambling. And
Saul Blue Man Group.
Christina and I come back, and there's this cart in front of the door. We're like, what the hell is this?
Did they throw
It
down?
was a dessert cart of ice cream. Pat, you would have loved it.
Okay.
A big thing of ice cream, and then all these toppings like hot fudge and
Gummy
toppings and all
bears
kinds of
and
stuff.
cookie
All kinds of
crumbs.
stuff on a cart.
Sounds
And
awesome.
I'm like, I said, what is this? And I said, Mom, there's a cart. Now, Olivia was asleep by now. I said, Mom, there was a cart in front of the door. What is that? And she goes, oh, your daughter wanted ice cream. And I said, so you ordered that? I said, you ordered that?
Do you remember how much it cost?
And I think it was $89.
Money well
And
spent.
she says, yeah. And I said, you ordered that for her? And I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, you never would have done that for me.
No.
And she said, yeah, but you were a little a-hole. And that was her answer, and I'll never forget it. You? No, she goes, of course, you were a little a-hole.
She's not.
She's not.
She's my granddaughter.
So I would absolutely do that
She
for
can
her.
do no wrong.
So she did. She spent, my money?
Yeah.
Once Betty learned how to spend my money,
It was
once
on.
that trick was on,
Yeah.
she was like Bernie Madoff. Once she learned. Now she's buying dollar store toilet paper for herself. But when John's paying the bill,
You know what? I think one-ply toilet paper gets underrated
No,
in this
it's
world.
terrible.
All right, there's my
That's
hot take.
where you've
I'm
gone
walking
too far.
off.
Janie, we
Stop.
love you.
One-ply's not that bad.
no, it's terrible.
This is a
You just
hot
gotta
take
fold it.
alert.
She would go to the dollar store in Drexel Hill and get Dollar store toilet
You
paper.
You just fold it.
You know
You
what?
got another
And paper
pie.
towels.
The business department of this building is loving what you're saying right
Terrible.
now.
Hey, support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partners, Win Donation, and please make a donation today to the American Association for Cancer Research. You can do it at 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. By the way, I'm counting on that line being true. 1 down, 11 treatments to go. We go again on the 28th, so I look forward to that one. Not really. But
Well, it's one less.
It's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
less.
yeah.
We have 11 blocks left on the kitchen counter. That's what I'm hoping for. Jamie, great seeing you, dude.
Yeah, I'll be back on Friday.
See you on
guys
Friday.
then.
Hope everybody has a great week. Great to have Pat back. Welcome, Riley, to the family. Good job. Congratulations to Cam Camille, too. Hey, Cuz Radio comes your way next. Make it a great